Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Izuku neglected by family part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Eldera Junior High. Suo, as third-year students, it's time to think seriously about your future and what you want to do with your lives. The blonde-haired teacher addressed a class full of quirky students. I could pass out some carrier aptitude test, but why bother? He grabbed the test papers and threw them in the air. I know you all want to go to the hero track. At this, the whole class was in an uproar and the students started to show off their quirks. Yes, you've got some very impressive quirks, but no quirk usage in school, so get a hold of yourself. Hey teach, don't lump me in with this group of losers. A boy with sand hair spoke up after staying silent most of the class. I'm the real deal. These rejects will be lucky to be sidekicks of some busted D-lister, the boy bragged. At this, the whole class turned against him. Hey. You think you're better than us, Kitsuki, huh? Stop bragging, Kitsuki. Let's go, I'll take you all on. The teacher soon silenced the class and started reading Kitsuki's result. You've got pretty impressive marks, maybe you will get into UA. Is aiming for the national. That school has a 0.2 acceptance rate. It's impossible to get into. And that is exactly why it's the only school worthy of me. Jumping onto the desk, Kitsuki began another bragging session. I am going to be the #1 hero, even greater than All Might himself. I'll be the richest, most famous hero the world has ever seen, and it all starts with UA High. Oh yeah, Yagi, don't you want to go to UA too? All eyes turned on the greenette named Izuku Yagi, and then complete silence, until. Ahahahaha. Yagi, there's no way you can get into the hero course without a quirk. But I have a quirk. Izuku tried and failed to defend himself. Ahaha. What quirk? The quirk that makes your body feel warm. Yeah, we know it's just a lie. You're quirkless. And no, it's my quirk. I'm not Lee. Deku. Listen up, Deku, you're even worse than these rejects, you quirkless wannabe. Alright, calm down everyone, and Bakugo, go back to your place. You know it's not permitted to use your quirk in school. Fine. After school. Man, that fight from the morning is all over the news, better write some notes on it. Deku. Not this again. HK Kaken. I don't know what your game is, Deku, but if you want to live, I suggest that you dump your dream down the gutter. I'm so sick of this. And what is this? The bully picked up Izuku's hero analysis copy number 13, exploded it and threw it outside, despite Izuku's protest. And if you don't, I'm gonna fucking kill you. How many more days like this? Why can't they just leave me alone? Mom and dad are always busy with their work in Tokyo. They're going visit me tomorrow after a long time. I will have to get some food supplies. They used to visit me more often, but ever since dad's car accident, I feel like they are avoiding me. Time skipped to under the bridge. No matter, I won't give up. I have to prove to my parents that I can become a hero just like All Might. All I have to do is work hard, harder than everyone else. I just have to find a way to make my quirk work, if it even is a quirk. What is that? Just then a greenish-black mass started to emerge from a manhole under the bridge. The perfect human camouflage. A villain. I need to run. Izuku began to hightail it, but was pounced on by the villain. Not so fast, I'm only trying to take over your body, it'll all be over soon. Izuku tried to claw at the villain to get him away, but in vain. I'm made of liquid, boy, no amount of struggling will help you. All I have to do is get away from him. My body is getting weak. I think I'm dying. Please help. Texas my Osh. And then everything went black. Are you alright, young man? Izuku, thank God I reached in time, but what is he doing in this part of town? Should I need to check if he is okay? I should probably sign this too. Hey, wake up, wake up. Wake up, thought we lost you there. Hey, All Might. Izuku said, half screaming. Normally I don't let civilians get in the way of my justicing, but turns out the sewer system in the city is very confusing. He's so cool, Izuku thought with dazed eyes. And before you ask, I already signed your notebook. Thank you very much. I think that I should get going, have to get this villain to the authorities, All Might said as he showed the bottle with the villain inside to Izuku. Wait please, before you go, I just need to ask you something. No, please don't. Ever since I was a 3-year-old, I always wanted to become a hero. My classmates think that I can never be one without any superpowers, but I want to help people, I want to help society, I want to save everyone I can with a fearless smile, I want to proudly say I am here while fighting against villains. So I just want to ask you this. I know what it's going to be. Do you think that I can become a hero without a quirk? There may have complete silence, but there was a war going on inside All Might's mind. A war between All Might, the greatest hero till date, and Toshinori Yagi, father of a quirkless child. Amma Toshinori, say yes, he's your son. Say that he can become a hero. Give him one for all, train him to be the next symbol of peace. Young man. No, I cannot let my personal feelings get in the way of my judgment. I'm sorry to say this. Please forgive me, my son. But you can't be a hero without a quirk. The last bit of hope that Izuku had was gone. Although he didn't want to believe it, the truth was that all this time, Izuku was holding on to a fantasy. All this time he had been running away from reality, but now reality had hit him like a freight train. You have a commendable dream, young man, but pros always risk their lives, often getting fatally wounded, even if they have a quirk. So, no, I don't think that you can become a pro hero without a quirk. I understand, Izuku said, looking on the ground. If you really want to help people, you can always become a doctor or police officer. When All Might turned around, he saw the amount sadness Izuku's eyes held, even though there were no tears. I don't think I can look him in the eyes anymore, if only I could fix this somehow. All Might felt sudden weakness throughout his entire body. Shit, almost out of time, need to leave fast. I guess I should go, more justice is deserved. All Might, away. And with that All Might shot off into the sky. Myself and your mother love you very, Izuku, much. I hope you understand why I said those words today. All Might in deep thought didn't notice the bottle fall of his pocket. Also, being a hero, I cannot let any civilian be in any danger. A hero might have won today, but a father lost. Time skipped to the market incident. Izuku arrived at the marketplace only to see the same sludge villain rampaging around the market. Isn't it the villain that All Might was chasing earlier? What the hell, why aren't the pros doing anything? They can't, the villain's got a hostage. That's the same villain that attacked me under the bridge. Izuku then caught the sight of a little sand blonde hair and put two and two together. Oh no, the explosions, the hair, it's Kakin. Dumb. Why am I so useless? Dumb. No, I need to help him. Dumb. Why am I feeling warm? Dumb. I need to save Kaka. Detroit, smash. The air pressure of the smash was so strong that it changed the weather to rainy. After that, Bakugo got praised by the pros for having such a powerful quirk. Well, time to head home. Oh wait, I still need the supplies. Young Bakugo has a powerful quirk and strong determination. With the right amount of training he could be unstoppable. Maybe he can carry on the torch. But Bakugo? I've already been praised by the other pro and even All Might himself, there's nothing that could stop me from being number one. Bakugo, a thin, frail-looking man with messy blonde, called out to him. Oh, hey Mr. Yagi, didn't know you were in town. Bakugo liked Mr. and Mrs. Yagi very much, sometimes more than his real parents. He would have stated how Izuku didn't deserve parents like them. Bakugo, I need to discuss something very serious with you. Fucking Deku, he definitely told his parents this time. He's gonna fucking get it tomorrow. Oh okay. What I'm going to tell you is top secret. Bakugo just nodded. I am. All of a sudden S body started to steam and before Bakugo could react. All Might then started to explain Ofa and his and Titan's secret to Bakugo. You are a candidate for Ofa, so you better start training your body. You will be evaluated by me, the principal of UA, an old friend of mine, and my old sidekick during your first year in UA, and if you are approved, then you will receive my quirk. Tell your parents to come to my house tomorrow, me and Titan have some errands to run, so we'll be a little late, but I think Izuku will be able to keep your parents occupied. Speaking of Izuku, does know about your secret and shouldn't he be the one inheriting your quirk? I thought of that too, but he doesn't have what it takes. Those words came out with a lot of hesitation. And no, he doesn't know our secret. Beku's so pathetic, even his parents think he's useless. Before you go, take this. It's a premium membership card to Star 1 Gym, train and build up your body, and don't forget, you must keep this a secret. Also, you don't have to worry about the entrance exam, you'll get in through recommendations. Got it? Unknown to them, a certain Greenet heard the entire thing. But neither did he move nor did a single word came out of his mouth because now he had finally lost everything. So what, am I just a servant, a useless piece of trash for everyone to just throw away, don't have what it takes? As if they know me. They have been absent from most of my childhood. How could they keep such a big secret from me and for all these years? Why am I so unlucky? Did God create me just to laugh at me? Is anything even worth it anymore? Should I just run away? Will they even look for me? After reaching his home, the first thing he did was clear his room of everything All Might, even removing his family photo and a childhood photo of him and Bakugo from his desk. First I need some sleep, then I need to get my life back on track. Geneva. So, how many months do I have left? I am sorry to say this, sir, but you are no longer in the months territory. Schmidt knew what FAULKNER, his butler doctor, meant once he saw the saddened expression on the butler's face. Sir, you have 20, number 17 days at best. Schmidt knew his fate, he knew it was going to end. Prepare the jet. Where to, sir? Japan, Musatafu. The place where I first met Elena. I know that I'm going to die, it's my fate. But I won't face it where my life truly began, maybe I will even find the one who will be worthy enough to take over my army and company. Schmidt says as he looks at the setting sun. Where one sun sets, another rises. My sun has already gone down, its light about to fade, but I have this hunch that a sun brighter than any other is rising somewhere, a sun which lead us into the brightest future. He now closed his eyes and whispered. I just hope that I would have lived long enough to see that sun rise high in the sky. Next day. I guess today will be a good day, all I have to do is pretend and everything will be a-okay. But boy was he wrong. First, the memory of everything that happened yesterday returned, second he woke up a little so he had to skip breakfast, then on his way to school, he tripped over and fell on top of a girl, although that wasn't too bad, since the girl was also in a hurry and lastly, Bakugo. Izuku had a suspicion how Bakugo would treat him now, and so he tried to be as prepared as he could. Outside school gate. Okay, all I have to do is avoid drawing attention to myself and keep a low profile, more importantly I think I should tell Kakno Bakugo that I don't want to become a hero anymore, that should keep him away from me. Speaking of which, I should probably cancel the admission application to UA, I think going the business way is a good choice. Haha, if only a yesterday morning version of me could see me right now, he would probably say that I am a fake, that the real Izuku would never give up on being a hero but miracles do happen, and with that, a hungry and disheartened Izuku Yagi walked into the hell, where a demon named Bakugo was ready to fry him in hot oil. He was about to get in the class, but stopped to listen to the commotion inside. Whoa. That's a premium membership card to Star 1 Gym, the best gym in all of Japan. Holy shit man. Many high-tier pro heroes go there to work out. How the hell did he get that, even money cannot buy it. See I fucking told you I am better than all of you, and guess what extras, I don't have to give some stupid entrance exam to get into UA, I'm getting in through recommendations. Well Bakugo is still Bakugo. Just then, Izuku felt a tap on his shoulder. Yagi, are you going to get in or just stand in front of the door? Class is about to start in 7 minutes. Oh okay. He opened the door to get in discreetly, but the creaking of the door drew everyone's attention to him. And as he suspected. Iku. I've had enough of this shit. Come here you useless piece of trash Bakugo called with a very harsh tone. Izuku walked over to Bakugo and said the one word that no one would have expected Izuku Yagi to say. But now, Bakugo he said with a tone so disinterested that even made their teacher, who was about to walk into the classroom. The second time the classroom was silent because of Izuku, but this time for a whole different reason. Almost all of the students knew how much Izuku was bullied and beaten up by Bakugo, but not once did he address Bakugo by his name, let alone only his surname. If you don't want to say anything, I'm gonna go back to my seat. But before going, he said something that would have shocked the entire school if it was present there. Oh, and Bakugo, I will cancel my admission form for UA today. Why? Because it turns out that you were right, I am just a quirkless wannabe. I understand that, and that's why I'm declaring that I don't want to become a hero anymore. This time it was Bakugo's turn to speak. Huh. Finally you understand that you are nothing but useless trash. Now with Deku out of the way, I am definitely going to become richest and most popular hero of all time. Richest and most popular, can't believe that I idolized him. Slowly the class recovered from the shock and returned to normality. Then the teacher fully walked in after standing halfway through the door like a statue. Alright everyone, quiet down. Take out your books and turn to chapter 7. The rest of the school day went as normal, leaving out Izuku. The once muttering and hero-enthusiastic boy was now quiet and didn't read or write about heroes anymore, instead during the free period, he read some business books he took from the library. He even stopped responding to and started ignoring Bakugo and his death threats. But this did not suit well with Bakugo. Damn nerd, who the fuck dies he think he is, I'll teach him after school, I'll fucking break him into tiny pieces. Before the school was over, the principal announced a reminder that the school will remain closed for 2 weeks due to renovation. After school. Izuku was walking down the hallway alone after his lab duty. When he exited the school gates, he was immediately knocked down to the ground. Who the fuck do you think you are, Deku? Izuku tried to get up but was kicked down by one of Bakugo's goons. Not so fast asshole, I'm gonna beat you down till you cannot move. And then, 3 minutes of merciless beatdown began. Izuku kept taking punch after punch, kick after kick, after which he was on all fours, his school uniform torn and tattered. Just as Bakugo was about to turn around and go home, Izuku moved slowly, trying to get up. His whole body felt warm, like he was under the sun. Badum. Badum. I may not want to become a hero anymore. Badum. Badum. But that doesn't mean that I will. Badum. Badum. Let him treat me like trash. Then he did the unthinkable, he got up and punched Bakugo in the face, and although it was a weak punch, it was enough to knock down Bakugo onto the ground. Badum. Badum. I can't do this all day, Izuku said while taking a fighting stance he saw in a movie once. Bakugo soon got up, shocked and filled with rage, but what all the boys didn't notice was that Izuku was glowing a very faint intensity of white. I'll fucking murder you, Bakugo said as he prepared his quirk. Come. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. At me. Just as Bakugo was about to fire off an explosion. Hey, stop it there. They all turned their heads to see a tall man, with dark black hair and black eyes, wearing a pollution mask and grey trench coat standing there. I'll get you when school starts, Deku. Fucking remember that Bakugo and his goons ran away as fast as they could. Hey, stop. The man tried to stop them from getting away but the boys were much faster. He then walked to Izuku to see if he was severely injured. Are you alright? I'm fine, thank you for saving me. No problem, now get up, we have to go to the police station. That is not necessary, we were just playing. Bruised body and torn clothes doesn't look like playing to me. It's fine, really. I should just go home. It seems like there is no arguing with you. But before you go take this, the man then proceeded to take off his coat and gave it to Izuku. Wear this and go, wouldn't look nice for you to be walking around with torn clothes. Izuku was about to protest, and before you say no and explain all the reasons why you can't take it, let me tell you something, I have a lot of coats at home. The man put a large amount of emphasis on the lot part. I thank you for this. And for saving me. Again, don't mention it, now hurry on, your parents may be getting worried. My parents, worried? Yeah, right. Izuku started to run to his home as it was getting late, but when he crossed 2 streets, Izuku realized that his phone had fallen somewhere, probably fell out of his pocket as it was torn. Damn it, today has been the second worst day of my life. Wait, I think it may have fallen when I was on the ground. But the Delbert. What a peculiar kid. Schmidt was about go when he saw a phone lying on the ground, he picked it up to see that it was green and a little broken. Must be that kid's phone, I'll take it to the police station. Schmidt took out his phone to call for a pickup, but he felt something cold touching his neck and Schmidt, being a weapons designer, knew exactly what it was. Adelbert Schmidt, the man spoke. Schmidt instantly recognized the voice. Bill Johnson, how are you still alive? Bill Johnson, a fanatic. His only purpose in life is to kill quirkless people. He pulled Schmidt by the back of his collar and pinned him against the nearest wall, with Schmidt facing the wall, causing the pollution mask to fall off. That doesn't matter, you ruined everything, my noble plan, my holy crusade, all gone thanks to you and your army, the crazed man said. Kidnapping and brainwashing children with your quirk to kill innocent people is not noble. Innocent? What innocent? All the quirkless men, women and children are a plague to society, they dirty everything with their impure and inferior bodies. They may be inferior in your eyes, but they are still human beings, they deserve to live. Shut up. All the quirkless need to fucking die, I will form another army and a great holy cleansing crusade, the will of God will start and every quirkless person will die and people who support them will also fucking die starting with Y. Smike. The maniac didn't get to finish his sentence as he was smacked with a garbage bin so hard that he got caught instantly. Schmidt turned around to spot the green-haired boy from earlier, holding a newly dented garbage bin. I guess we're even, Mr. Schmidt. I guess we are. But Izuku, minutes before. I think Lady Luck hates me. Izuku finally reached the spot of the earlier incident, only to the man from earlier being pinned to the wall by another man who looked like he had a gun in his hand. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Shit, what should I do? Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Should I run and call the police? Wait, I don't have my phone with me, think Izuku think. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Izuku backed up to hide behind a few garbage bins, but all of that went down the drain once the man with what gun started shouting. Izuku's body started to move on its own. He grabbed one of the garbage bins with both of his hands and ran with it towards the confrontation. He hit the man with the gun with everything his battered body had, instantly knocking the maniac out cold. The man from earlier turned his head to show a face which Izuku immediately recognized, and so he said the only thing that came to his mind. I guess we're even, Mr. Schmidt. I guess we are, the man replied. Outside Izuku's house. Now, Kitsuki, behave yourself and no swearing or shouting in front of my friends. Inko and Toshinori are my friends first, then your uncle and aunt, a woman with sand hair said while holding her son's ear, with her husband following behind. Let go of me, you fucking hag. Now show some manners or you are going to beg to dear God that you never existed. She gave death glare so scary that it would make even the most hardcore of heroes tremble. The glare made both the son's and the father's blood freeze. FFF fine, JJ just LL let GG go OOFMMM me. Now go ring the doorbell and be nice to Izuku. Yeah right, as if I would be nice to that waste of space, he should feel lucky to even stand in my presence. Ding tong. Izuku opened the door to see the Bakugus. Oh, good evening Aunt Mitsuki and you too Uncle Masaru, please come in Izuku said in a monotone voice. Thank you Izuku. You see this Katsuki, this is called manners. Why can't you be more like Izuku? Katsuki just scowled. Please, make yourself at home. So Izuku, what are you planning to with the 2-week vacation? He'll probably be sitting his quirkless ass in his chair and play video games for 14 days. Katsuki. What did I tell you? What, that's what he'll do, aren't you Deku Katsuki said with a smirk. Well actually, I do have plans, Izuku said with a hint of annoyance in his voice. And what might that? I got a part-time job. Ah, as if someone will hire your quirkless ass. Smack. Stop hitting me you old hag. I'll fucking kill Yoshibunkiken. Mitsuki had pushed Katsuki's head into the sofa armrest to silence him. Both Izuku and Masaru's sweat dropped. That's wonderful, where did you get it? Mitsuki said with a smile while still pushing Katsuki's head into the armrest. It's near the city center by the huge mall. It's more like an internship as if I can impress the person who hired me within the next 14 days, his company will take me in as soon as I graduate from high school. That's great news. You're only 13 and already have a job, take notes Katsuki. Anyway, what's the pay? Oh it's… Ding tong. Izuku didn't get to finish the sentence as he was interrupted by the doorbell. I'll get it. He opened the door to see his parents, Inko Titan Yagi and Toshinori All Might Yagi. Oh, it's you people. Izuku turned around leaving the door open. That was different, usually he would hug us both the Yagis thought. Don't you want to tell us about anything interesting that might have happened while we were away Inko asked hoping to get an answer. No, nothing interesting, although I did get a part-time job. Besides I'm old enough for the tell us what happened while we were away thing. This is definitely different, he would tell us about the smallest thing with the greatest enthusiasm his parents thought. And then there was the I'm old enough part. If that's all, I'll be going to bed, I have to wake up early. But, Izuku my boy, we've brought Katsuden Toshinori said when he showed him the plastic bags. I'm full Izuku simply said as he turned around to go into his room. Okay, something is definitely wrong, usually he would go hyper even talking about Katsuden every one of them, leaving out Katsuki, thought. Izuku, are you alright? This time it was Masaru who spoke up. Never better, thanks for the concern he said with a small smile, but in a disinterested tone. Wait Izuku you didn't tell us about your paycheck, Mitsuki asked hoping to get his attention. Izuku turned his back. It's 700,000 yen he simply said before going to his room as he didn't bother to answer any other questions. As soon as he reached his room, he dropped onto his bed, the only thing going through his head was the encounter few hours ago, the encounter with the first person who said that he could become a hero without a quirk, although at this point, he had already come to terms that he won't be a hero. Flashback. What you did there was pretty brave, kid. Most people, even older than you would have just turned a blind eye and gone in the other direction. Thank you Mr. Schmidt. But even I don't know what happened, my body kinda acted on its own. Before even I knew it, I was running with a trash can haha Izuku told with a half laugh while blushing. This kid. Speaking of which, what were you doing on these streets alone without bodyguards, you do know that you have tens if not hundreds of enemies. I was recollecting old memories. Oh, like for nostalgia. Something like that. So what's your quirk? You have great potential of becoming a hero. This question and praise instantly made Izuku sad. I could have gotten a quirk, but I don't have what it takes to be a hero, my own father told me. For the longest time I wanted to help people, from when I was 3 years old I wanted to do good, become a hero for the sake of being one, but I realize now that all I've been doing was holding on to a fantasy, but now I know that it's not possible for me to become a hero. And why is that? I am quirkless this answer immediately changed the mood of the conversation. Izuku thought he knew what Schmidt will say next. That doesn't matter. Huh. Real heroes are not defined by their quirks, it's their willpower, their courage and their untamed desire to help those in need. With the right amount of training you can become a hero. Izuku had waited for the longest time to hear those words, but it didn't matter anymore, he had already lost his ambition. Thank you but, it's not possible. Sigh there's no use arguing with you right. Anyway for saving me I think that you deserve a treat after which I shall give you a lift home and I won't take no for an answer. Izuku, who hadn't eaten anything from morning had no other choice, because if he said no, he probably wouldn't be able to make it home. Fine. After having dinner, in Schmidt's limousine. Say, you said that you wanted to go for business, right? Yup. Well, how about I hire you for the next 14 days and be your teacher, and if you can impress me within those days, my company will immediately hire you once you graduate. How does that sound? Well, I think only a fool would decline such an offer. I'll take it. That's what I like to hear. Schmidt then took out one of his visiting cards and signed behind it and also wrote special pass on it. My time is running out, these 15 days are all I have left and I hope you are the one. Come to the given address tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Wait. Stop the car, that's my house. Izuku got out of the limo, but before going asked about his paycheck. Sir, I don't want to be rude, but can I ask what my paycheck is? It's completely fine if you don't want to tell me. Adelbert thought for a second but smiled and answered his question. It's 700,000 yen per week. 700,000. If you want to I can increase it. And no, 700,000 is fine. Well then, it's getting late and you should get some sleep. Good night, Izuku. Good night to you too, sensei, and thanks for the food. Many people would have increased the amount. I think that I've found the one. Next day. What is this place? Izuku thought, completely oblivious to the fact that he was naked and flying. He was surrounded by clouds of all sizes. He was flying through them, over them, under them. Izuku looks in every direction, but all he can see are clouds, not the types to make it rain or storm, but peaceful ones, clear skies above said clouds and endless horizons. Is this the sky? Under normal circumstances Izuku would have slapped himself for asking such a retarded question, but this was not a normal circumstance. The sky, instead of being blue, was shining golden white, and the clouds were glowing brilliant hues of yellow and gold. Then out of the blue, it started drizzle, but not with water, but with white particles. Izuku was in complete bliss, the particles were hitting him like raindrops, but instead of feeling what he expected, he only felt just small pricks of cold before feeling warm. It was as if his body was absorbing the particles. A little while later, the particle shower stopped, leaving an energized Izuku. Let's see what I can do now. He started to fly with absolute joy and happiness. He started doing loops and barrel rolls. Izuku decided to test his limit and began going heavenward. Let's see how far I can go. He kept going higher and higher. The light from the sky was getting brighter and brighter to the point that if anyone else would have seen the light, their eyeballs would have melted through their skull. But it didn't faze Izuku, the light didn't strain his eyes. He didn't know why, but he felt like he was the happiest person alive. Ooh. Thump. Huh. Izuku looked around to find himself on the floor of his room. It felt so real. Izuku got up to check his phone to see what time it was, since he put away his all-night clock. 4:30, still dark. I have a lot of time before I have to meet sensei. I think I will go out for a walk. All Might and Titan are still asleep, I think. Izuku changed into simple blue tracksuit and pants and wore a pair of runners he bought a few weeks ago. He carefully snuck out of the house to not wake up the pro heroes and started to jog lightly. Man, that dream was something else, he thought as he jogged towards the nearest beach to observe the dawn break. I still feel like I could just fly away. What's more is that dream suddenly made me want to look at the sunrise. Izuku soon arrived at the beach. He went near the water and waited for the sun to rise. I wonder what kind of things I have to do today, maybe dealing with accounts, maybe management or maybe even basic weapons designing. Oh no. What if I disappoint him on the first day? I don't want to embarrass myself. Izuku was about to go into a panic attack when he noticed the distant horizon lightening up. Well, at least I can watch the sunrise. As soon as the first rays of sunlight hit Izuku, his entire body began glow white with a little touch of gold. And although it was not blinding, it was bright enough for Izuku to notice. He could actually feel himself becoming more aware of his surroundings and felt more energized. It was like he got charged like a cell phone. He just stood there for the entire sunrise. When the last bit of the sun went above the horizon, his body finally stopped glowing. There was only one thing that ran through Izuku's mind. What the fuck was thought? He soon began to panic like there was no tomorrow. A million thoughts went through his head. Is this my quirk? Did that strange dream have something to do with this? Why did it show up 9 years after when it was supposed to? Ring ring. Izuku was brought out of his thoughts and questions by his phone ringing. He took it out to see that it was Titan. Hello? Izuku? Yeah. Where are you? Your father and I are worried sick. I'm fine, just wanted to take a walk, besides what are you too afraid of anyway? It's just that the streets are dangerous nowadays, especially after the sludge villain incident, and we also wanted to tell you that we have to go back to Tokyo today for some important business meeting and thought if you wanted a lift here. I think I'm old enough to defend myself or at the very least capable to call for help. I know I'm quirkless, but at least have some faith in me. And no, I don't want your lift, Izuku retorted before hanging up. Something is definitely wrong with him, me and Tashi have to talk to him as soon as we come back. Izuku returned home to find some breakfast and a note saying that his parents will come back after 3 weeks. Izuku half-heartedly ate the breakfast, got ready and began his short journey to the office building, nervous as hell. Outside the office, 8:57. Izuku stood outside of a very modern-looking office building. So this is it. This is where my life begins. One small step for me, one giant leap for me, damn it Izuku, no time to make jokes. He was about to enter, but was stopped by two heavily armed and armored guards, whose name tags read out William and Kaido. What do you think you're doing, don't you know that the boss is inside? Anyone without an ID or special pass is forbidden to go inside. Wait, I do have a pass. Izuku then gave the visiting card from yesterday to the guards. The guards at first thought that it was a joke, since the CEO stopped using that type of visiting card, then they scanned it to make sure it was genuine. And it was. Sorry for the inconvenience, sir. Both the guards were now standing in attention, which startled Izuku and made him very confused. It's fine, everyone makes mistakes. Thank you, sir. Ooh, can I ask you something? Anything, sir. Why are you calling me sir? I mean, I'm just here for an internship, I don't even work here yet. The guards looked at each other and thought the same thing. Does he not know? Sir, you carrying this particular type of business card already makes you a high-priority individual, moreover, this card has his signature on it, which only shows your importance. This means that you can even ask for pickups and bodyguards. The first guard spoke. Show this card to anyone from the office, and they would be happy to provide any help they can. Also, just show this to the people working in the cafeteria, and they'll give all food you want for free, and yes, they will address you by sir. The second one added. Now Izuku was extremely confused, how could he, an intern, get HPI status, that too granted by the CEO of the company? Izuku would have pondered a little more, then he realized that he did save the man's life yesterday. But still, he did not expect the HPI status. Well then, I should better get going. Can you please tell me where Mr. Schmidt is? Sure thing, he's in the VIP lounge, 2nd floor. Anything else, sir? Before Izuku entered, he said something which the guards didn't expect someone with a HPI status to say, mostly because till date, everyone who got that status were spoiled arrogant assholes. Who would misuse the power and often misbehave with the people working in the office and even offices in other parts of the world, which led to Schmidt not giving anyone HPI status for a long time until yesterday. Yes, I do have a request, please tell everyone in the office to not call me sir, it does not look nice, nor does it feel right to me. I mean, everyone in the office is way more experienced in work and life than me, moreover all of you are at least 7 years older than me, if anything I should be the one calling you sir. Anyways, I should get going, see you later, William and you too Kaido. After which, Izuku went inside. The two guards and the office workers who were about to enter were thoroughly impressed with the kid's behavior and only one thought was present in their minds. What a kind and humble young man. What they didn't know was that the CEO and his butler were listening to the entire conversation from the balcony, all the while smiling to themselves. You've made the right choice, sir. I guess I did, Faulkner. I guess I did. VIP lounge. Izuku knocked on the door before entering the lounge, the door opened to reveal a man, most like in his 40s with grey hair and brown eyes. Ah, you must be Izuku Yagi, I'm Joseph Faulkner, Mr. Schmidt's butler and doctor, nice to meet you, the butler with the oddly cliché British accent said. Nice to meet you too, Mr. Faulkner, Izuku said while shaking Faulkner's hand. Come on in, Adelbert is waiting for. Izuku went in and immediately recognized a certain person sitting on the couch of the very expensive looking lounge, sorting some papers, next to him were 3 small boxes. Ah, Izuku, you made it exactly on time. Didn't want to disappoint you, sensei. Schmidt only gave a small smile. Come and take a seat. Izuku did as he was told and took the seat beside the CEO. So here's how your internship will go, for the first 7 days, you will answer these multiple choice questions that I have prepared for you, I think you will be able to complete them within 1 hour, after which a couple of the office workers will teach you about management, accounting, entrepreneurship, physics, chemistry, and I will teach you about basic weapon mechanics and design. At the end of the day you will give another test related to everything that you've been taught throughout the day. I know that it will be tough and that I'm asking a lot from you, but you must understand that your school will reopen soon and I won't be here anymore. Next week we'll go to Munich to teach you about army management and to increase your tactical skills. Also, you will help the office workers with the knowledge you acquire, which is why I will be paying you. So how does it sound? I'll do it, I am extremely lucky to have a teacher like you, and I will do anything to make you proud of me, I will not give you a single chance to complain. No hesitation, eh? I like it. But there is one thing that I did not understand, what do you mean that you won't be here anymore? Oh, by that I mean that I will be in Africa. Of course, you know terrorist groups and things of those nature, nothing for you to worry about. Anyway, here this is your MCQ test paper, and I've got something else for you. Schmidt then took the 3 boxes and opened them. The first box contained a very expensive custom-made cell phone, the second one contained a very expensive watch, and the third contained an expensive pen. Take these, and yes, I won't take no for an answer, I saw how badly damaged and old gen your phone is, and since you will be doing a lot of con calls, you will need a better phone. Thank you sensei, very much. I should tell you about the 2 speed dials of the phone. You see, if you press the power button 7 times, a limo will be dispatched immediately to your location from the office building, and if you press the same button 16 times, a secure and defend sective squad will be sent to you. This is because you are learning directly under me, and I can't have any student of mine be in dangerous situations without giving them a way out of it. I understand. Now then, start your test. 7 days later. 7 days have gone by, and every single one of Izuku's teachers were impressed with the boy. He had also become popular with all the workers of the office, since he always helps them with even the smallest things. The entire office respected him and was very attached to the boy, not because he was HPI status, but because of his genuine good personality. Moreover, he never wanted much, he only wanted the office workers to accept him as he was, and they did. Schmidt couldn't be more sure that he picked the right person to hand down his company to, as the morning tests had secret moral questions, and as he expected, Izuku picked only the best answers. Izuku also assumed that the whole sunrise thing happens after every 7 days, since it happened today too. He would look into it more after his internship was over. Izuku was getting ready to leave after his 7th day when he was stopped by Schmidt. Izuku, you have impressed not only me, but the entire office. You also passed all the tests with flying colors, how does it make you feel? To be honest sensei, even I can't believe it, in just a week, my whole life has changed for the better. It happens, anyway, here take this. Schmidt handed him an envelope. Izuku opened it to find a credit card and bank passbook with Izuku's name on it. What is this? Your salary. Salary? Oh, salary. Izuku said, half screaming. I completely forgot about that, but I kinda feel like I should be the one paying you guys since all of you taught me. After hearing this, Adelbert smiled. Nonsense, you've helped a lot of people here. Now go and get yourself some new clothes and a bag. Meet me at 8 AM on the rooftop helipad tomorrow. We're heading to Munich. And don't worry about any passport or visa. Thanks for this opportunity sensei, you have no idea how much you've helped me. Izuku said before leaving the building. And you have no idea how much at ease you've made me, Izuku Yogi. Schmidt said to no one in particular. He had only 6 days left rather than 8 to make the final decision, as after another checkup, he discovered that the cancer cells were growing a little faster than they previously were. Munich. Never in his wildest dreams did Izuku think that he would go to Germany, but here he was, on a private jet that was about to land on German soil. After being driven to the 7-star hotel where he would be staying for the foreseeable future, he was given instructions on where and when he was to meet Schmidt and also what he will be learning. The first 2 days went by more than perfectly, with Izuku already impressing his new teachers with his personality, tactical and analytical skills, but on the 3rd day, all hell broke loose. Izuku was asked to make a report of a past battle, but he didn't have the writing materials, and since Izuku didn't like others to do his work, he went to the closest mall to buy them. Schmidt also joined him, but told his bodyguards to stay outside the mall as he didn't want to look intimidating, much to their protest. So Izuku, do you have everything you need? Yes, sensei, all I need now are a couple of file covers, and I'll be good. Boom. There was a loud explosion, screaming people and shattered glass everywhere. Izuku was shell-shocked and disoriented, he was knocked down on the ground by force of the explosion. Once he got his bearings back, he opened his eyes, and what he saw made his blood run cold. He saw that his sensei was being held by his neck by a villain. Izuku Aruun. Get away from here. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Oh, is that someone precious to you? Well, don't worry, he'll die once I kill you. You've a thorn on my side for far too long, Schmidt. Izuku didn't say anything, just stood there staring at the ground. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Izuku's body felt warm. The same warmth he was feeling all those days. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. The same warmth he felt in his dream. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Be a dumb. Then, Izuku's body began to glow with same white gold color. His hair had turned golden blonde by now. This was the moment that Izuku's quirk had shown for the first time. Let him go. Or else what? I said let him go. The villain let go of Schmidt and started to walk towards Izuku. Well then, I think I should kill you in front of Schmidt. The hell are you doing, Izuku, Ruun? Adelbert said while lying on the ground. I'm gonna have fun pummeling you to death, boy. The villain lifted his arm to kill Izuku, but then, the unthinkable happened. Izuku on instinct, directed all the power of his entire body to his right arm and punched the villain with so much force that it sent him through 4 buildings. The shock wave was so great that it sent everyone 25 feet in the other direction, and the resulting air pressure took their breaths away, literally. Izuku was exhausted and felt severe pain in his arm. About 5 seconds later, he passed out due to the pain and lack of stamina. Last thing he heard was Schmidt calling out his name. Izuku's hotel room, 4th day. Izuku woke up to see the face of Schmidt and Faulkner. Finally awake I see, said Faulkner. Good morning, wanna have breakfast, joked Schmidt. Ha ha, very funny. Izuku tried to get up but felt that his entire right arm was bandaged. What the hell happened? You tell me, I thought you said you were quirkless. Moreover, how the heck did you turn blonde? Exclaimed Schmidt. I don't know, I thought I was quirkless too, but… It seems that Izuku's quirk was dormant. Both Izuku and Schmidt raised an eyebrow at Faulkner's statement. Dormant? Yes, dormant, they may not be common, but they aren't impossible. You see, sometimes, to activate a quirk, a person needs to be, let's say, motivated. That's exactly what happened to you, Izuku. Did you ever feel any change in your body when you were in a tight situation? And then it clicked in his head, everything made sense. Yes. Every time I was in a bad situation, my body felt warm, although I discarded the idea of that being my quirk. Well, whatever it was, you need to control it, look what it did to your body. Anyway, Faulkner, let the boy have some rest. The entire hotel is under my protection, so you don't have to worry about anyone attacking it. Also, don't worry about your school, I already informed the principal that you would rejoin after 1 week due to your injury. You should probably tell your parents about it too. I'll send a message. Before Schmidt left, he said his final live words to Izuku. Izuku, you have no idea how much you've helped me, I can finally be at peace now. Geez, no need to get all emotional on me, Izuku said with a smile. Adelbert returned it with sad smile. If only I could have seen you grow into the shining sun. Bye and good night, Izuku. Good night, sensei. Why do I feel like it's the last time I'm going to see him? Outside the hotel. Faulkner, call the lawyers. The next day Schmidt took to his bed. With Izuku, morning of the 6th day. I wonder why sensei didn't visit yesterday. I think he's busy after the villain attack. Speaking of which, I should check the news to see what was the aftermath of the attack. Izuku turned on the TV and changed to the news channel. The first line he saw made him beg and pray to God that it wasn't true. But it was true. Geneva. Izuku stood still in silence inside a beautiful enclosure with a small pond in it. In front of him lie 3 gravestones. The first one reading. Elena Schmidt. Beloved wife and mother. The second one read. Jonathan Schmidt. Beloved son. And finally the third one read. Adelbert Schmidt. Beloved husband, father and mentor. Izuku was standing there, unable to even speak. The whole world may have felt the shockwaves of Adelbert's death, but no one felt it more than Izuku. He hadn't eaten properly in 3 days. Izuku, a voice called him from behind. He turned around to see Faulkner and his wife Maria. Oh, hey Joseph. Izuku, you've been standing there for 3 hours now, I think you should eat something. Thanks, but I'm not hungry. Nonsense, the only thing that you've eaten in 3 days are 9 pieces of bread and 6 eggs. I know, Joseph, but I'm completely lost. I don't know where to go from here. After hearing this, Joseph gave Izuku a smile, the type of smile that doctors give when they say that everything would be okay. Adelbert told me you would say that, so he told me to give this to you. Joseph took out a flash drive from his pocket and gave it to Izuku. What's in this? I don't know, but he told me to give it to you. Okay, I'll check it now itself, Izuku said with little enthusiasm. Inside his hotel room in Geneva. Izuku plugged in the flash drive and saw only one video file in it. By the preview pic, he could tell that the clothes were a little torn, meaning that it was recorded the day of the villain attack. Izuku then played the video. Izuku, by the time you see this, I'm probably dead. Now before you start a depressed morning session, let me tell you a little about my past. You see, I was an orphan, but just like you, I wanted to become a hero. A hero whose only purpose was to help and save people. I even came up with my hero name Atlas. But all that went down the drain when I found out that my quirk only gave me intelligence. At first I became depressed, then with quirk I began developing weapons and defense machines that I gave to countries in hopes that they would keep their borders safe. Then I met her, Elena, the most beautiful lady I had ever seen. We got married and even had a baby boy who she named after Father Jonathan. Me and my family were happy for a time, until that too was taken away from me. My wife and son died during a villain attack. This led me to isolating myself for 3 whole years. Then I founded the PMC. I was happy when I found out that my PMC was being praised as a peacekeeping group rather than mercenaries. Then I was diagnosed with cancer, all of my hope was gone again. I'm not saying about my past to get sympathy from you, Izuku, or to show you that I am free from my suffering. No, I'm telling this so that you know that life will never be fair, you will have many hurdles, you will fall many times, but you must get up. I got back up many times, Izuku, many times. But now it's your turn. The real reason I recruited you was because you were one of the few good men left. I recruited you because I saw the future in your eyes. I recruited you because you are the one I have been looking for so many years, the one worthy to take over my army and company. Use it to help people. By this time, Izuku was clutching his heart, crying as all the emotions started to pour out. You have no idea what I would give up to watch you grow up into the good, understanding, caring, and strong man I know that you will become, Izuku. But before I go, I'm going to tell you what I told you the first day we met. Now that you have a quirk. Izuku Yagi, you can become a hero. I want you to train with everything you have. I will. I want you to become the best hero the world has ever seen. I will. I want you to do the right thing. I will. I don't want you to become number one, I want you to be legendary. I will. Thank you, sensei. And lastly, I want you to test your barriers, your limits. I will become a hero. And when you find your limits, break through them. Eldera Junior High, Musatafu. Yagi. Izuku Yagi. The homeroom teacher called out, but no response. He's been absent for a whole week now. Although this boss of his contacted the principal, I will have to talk to his parents, teacher said to himself, thinking about why Izuku was absent from class for one entire week. If it was any other student, he would let it slide, but this was Izuku Yagi, the most studious student in the class, perhaps the entire school. Once he came to school with burning fever, and one time he attended classes with a fractured arm, much to the doctor's protest. So seeing him not coming to school was quite the shocker both for the students and the teachers. Hey Bakugo, do you think the Deku is absent because of last week's beatdown? Yeah, I think he's scared after punching you. Both of Bakugo's goons said. I don't care why he's absent, as long that useless trash is not in my presence, Bakugo said, and if he shows his face again, I'll fucking kill him, he thought to himself. Right then, the class's attention was drawn to the door. It opened to reveal the principal of the school. He called the teacher out of the class to tell him something. Minutes later the teacher walked in with an announcement. Alright everyone, I've got an announcement to make. Izuku Yagi won't be attending this school anymore. Before the teacher spoke, everyone was disinterested, but after the announcement was made, everyone started murmuring. Many were happy and many were sad not because they were friends with him. No, they were sad because they couldn't copy his homework or cheat from him during the exams. But one thought was going through everyone's mind, why did he leave? Some thought that it was because of the bullying, others thought it was because of the patronizing. Another question came to everyone's mind, did Izuku find another school, or did he drop out? After some moments of pondering, Bakugo spoke up. Hey teach, did Deku tell any reason why he left the school? Bakugo asked, worried if he was the reason why Izuku left, not because he cared for him, but because if Mr. and Mrs. Yagi found out about the bullying. Also, which school is he now? Yes, he did write something on why he left and where he is now. The principal walked in holding a piece of paper. His reasons for leaving the school are 1. Inadequate teaching. 2. Teachers turning blind eye towards the behavior of students towards him. 3. The looking down and condescending behavior towards him due to his quirklessness, and the fourth reason was patronizing slap to every student's face. 4. Below average mental capacity, thinking power and brain matter of students. Everyone was shocked, angry, guilty and a bit sad because they felt how Izuku felt. Who the fuck does that quirkless trash think he is? Bakugo was about to explode, both physically and metaphorically. I need to find out which school he goes to now, and when I find him. Hey teach, where does he go to now? I need to teach him a freaking lesson. At this, few of the students began to cheer for Bakugo. Well, you better stop dreaming of teaching him a lesson, because honestly, he is beyond reach for you. Teacher, what do you mean beyond reach? He is in Germany. Silence. And he now goes to Rheinmetall Advanced Education. What? The whole class exclaimed together, also, to add insult to injury. For 100 positive votes, and before you ask how he got in, he simply wrote, I am better than all of you, that's how I got in. How heck did he get in? Was the collective thought, because someone cannot buy their way or just excel in the entrance exam of that school. The only way they can enter is by getting major vote percentage within 17 teachers after being interviewed by them, and Izuku Yagi, the quirkless Deku, got in with 17 yeses. Are we talking about the same Izuku Yagi? Some student asked. Yes, we are talking about the same Izuku the Izuku that all of you look down upon for being quirkless. That Izuku is now studying in Rheinmetall Advanced Education, one of the best schools till date. Everyone else had mixed reactions, some feeling jealous, others ashamed, but Bakugo was full of rage. One day, I'm going to find out, Deku. With All Might and Titan. Something is wrong with Izuku, All Might commented. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since he last talked to us, moreover, he's not back from his internship trip, I think Titan replied. Wasn't he supposed to come back a week ago, All Might asked in a worried tone. He was, I called one of the neighbors to check if he was back home, but turns out, the lights haven't been turned on in 2 weeks. And he gave house keys to the neighbor. I tried contacting him, but all I received were text messages saying busy. I hope nothing bad happened to him. They were heading back to their home after 3 weeks of no-stop hero work, both national and international, and one thing that they both agreed was that they had to figure out what was wrong with their son. After reaching their home, All Might and Titan, in their normal attire, ordered food as they were too tired to cook. After having their food, they tried to contact Izuku. At first they calling him, he would not pick up the phone. They also tried messaging him, but got no response. Then checked his Facebook account to get any clues, but they saw that the last time he was active was 3 weeks ago, the last time they talked to him. This was starting to really worry the parents as their son was very addicted to Facebook, although he didn't have any friends, and seeing him not log in for 3 weeks was a telltale sign that something had happened. Did he give any address of his job? Toshinori asked. No, but I'll go and check his room to see if he left any notes, Inko answered, choosing those particular set of words fearing the worst. Toshinori also knew what his wife meant, but praying for it to not be the truth. Praying that his son didn't run away, or worse. You don't mean? We have been absent from most of his life at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks that we hate him or are avoiding him. There was a pause. So I think it's entirely possible that he ran away, Inko explained in a sad and defeated tone. She then went to the first floor and stood outside for a solid 2 minutes, mentally preparing herself. She then entered the room and what she saw froze her. Hitachi, Inko called out to him. Humming. Toshinori entered the room, only to be shocked by what he saw. The All Might admiring, no worshipping boy's room was devoid of any type of All Might merchandise. The shelves that once housed All Might toys of all shapes, sizes and forms, now lay barren, deserted. Call it hero's intuition, but Toshinori had this clawing feeling that he was responsible for this, and Inko had the very bad feeling that they were about to lose something or someone. Both of them just stood there for at least a minute straight before a phone call from downstairs pulled them out of their shocked states. They hurried downstairs to answer the phone, hoping that it was their son. And it was. They put the phone on speaker. Hello Izuku. Where are you? I've been so worried. You didn't respond to phone calls or text messages. You've even been inactive from Facebook, Inko asked desperately and worriedly. Yes son, There was a brief pause, Inko and Toshinori looking at each other, both of them knew what they had to do, they couldn't hide it from their son after getting those bad feelings. What they didn't know was that we're in for a heck of a surprise. Have something very important to tell you. All Might spoke. After a brief pause he spoke again. It's regarding our jobs and the truth of who we are. No. No, I'm not coming back, All Might, Izuku said in a cold tone filled with anger. Both the parents stopped, unable to form any words, and by listening to Izuku's cold tone and underlying anger, they both knew they messed up bad. Izuku, please don't say things like that, we wanted to tell you for the longest time but what? Afraid that some villain will try to abduct me, afraid that I would be crushed after hearing that my dad is the NO1 hero and my mom is NO17 hero and I don't have any quirk, or afraid that I would become a spoiled egotistical child. Which excuse is it, please do tell. They were having problems trying to form sentences. Both of you have no clue what I've been through the past 10 years. I know that being a hero is difficult and it's even harder to spend time with family, but you have no clue how much I hated myself for being quirkless and helpless. Helpless because both of you were never there for me. The number of times I wanted to talk to you about my problems, about how I was treated in school, but all you two did was shrug it off, completely ignoring it. And I always thought that you hated me for being quirkless, which you probably do. And no, we could never possibly hate you, please Don, Inko said with teary eyes. I don't want to hear anything you have to say anymore, I have made up my mind, I am not coming back, never, and please don't call me your son, any relation we had is broken. Izuku please, we're sorry, both the older Yagis were crying at this point. Sorry doesn't fix the scars of the torment I went through. And All Might, you have no right to tell if I'm worthy or not. Not of inheriting your quirk. But of becoming a hero with it, he hung up. Ashinori and Inkoyagi were crying their eyes out, holding on to each other, trying to comfort each other as now, they have lost the most precious thing of their lives. But Izuku. Was that too cold? He thinks for a second, before throwing his old phone into a river. Will you ever forgive them or talk to them, Izuku? Asked Faulkner. In the future maybe. Now, not a chance, Izuku replied. Anyway, you requested for me. Yes, I did. I need a proper diet and a workout routine. Inside Izuku's apartment. Faulkner, I want you along with the best pediatricians, body trainers, quirk trainer and bodybuilders to make a diet and workout routine. The type of routine that will push my body to its extreme limits but not kill me. I have an idea of what my quirk is, so bring in a trainer with strength enhancement quirk. Also, call someone who can teach hand-to-hand combat. Will do, sir. Oh, and Faulkner, tell the media that the company is being handled by the council, for now. I will, but may I ask why, sir? I don't want to be on the news before I become a pro hero, and I also don't want to walk around with 10 or 15 bodyguards, and please don't call me sir, Izuku is fine, Faulkner only nodded left the room. Izuku then went to the balcony, watching the sunset over city and the Rhine. The apartment was the most expensive in the entire city. It was a penthouse with 7 large rooms, a living room, kitchen, a bedroom, a gym, a storage room, a study room and an office room. The apartment building itself was located by the river bank near the city center, thus making it easy for Izuku if he had to buy something. It was also located close to Rheinmetall Advanced Education, one of the best schools Europe had to offer. He managed to get in with 17 out of 17 yeses by impressing the teachers with his personality, analytical and tactical mind, ability to make good plans under pressure, good morals. Although at first he got 16 yeses, which was very good, but after hearing who his mentor was, the last interviewer also said a yes, because if Schmidt personally taught the boy, then there must be something that the teachers hadn't seen in him yet, but were eager to find out. Well, better check what the new classes are. Izuku went to the study room and started checking the subjects and class routine. So physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, English, German language, economics, computer science and mechanics. Ooh, they use the advanced education in the school name for a reason. There is also fencing, swimming, horse riding, improv and deception class. Welp, it's time to bring out my inner politician. I wonder what kind of quirks the other students will have. Next day. Izuku had just returned home after having breakfast at a nearby restaurant. He went to the living room to watch some TV when the doorbell rang. Izuku opened the door to reveal Faulkner and a very muscular and tall guy. Izuku assumed him to be the trainer with the strength enhancement quirk. Faulkner then handed him the papers with a workout routine. So Izuku, there you have it, your workout routine. Me and a couple of doctors and trainers worked through the night to make that routine. Thank you for that. Izuku, to be frank, the coming months will be total hell for you, are you sure you want to go through this? Faulkner asked in a serious way. Yes, I am. Everyone else had about 10 years to train their quirk, so I need to make these 10 months equivalent to 10 years. Commendable. Anyway, I have informed the restaurant across from the building about what your diet is, they will deliver the required food every day for the foreseeable future. Thanks. I should also introduce you to Werner Schwarzenegger, Faulkner said as he looked towards the buff man. Nice to meet you, Izuku Yagi, I will be your trainer for the next 10 months, not only for your body, but also for your quirk. Yes, Mr. Schwarzenegger has a degree in studying strength enhancer quirks. I heard that you were deemed quirkless due to your dormant quirk, but nothing to worry about. Strength enhancement quirks can take time to manifest, mostly due to the fact that the user's subconscious mind is masking the power until the body is developed and capable of handling the power. Some take 1 extra year, some take 2, but in your case, the quirk was dormant for 10 years. Just to show how powerful it is. Werner explained to Izuku. But, I damaged my arm when I first used it. Then that could mean only one thing, you went through a forced quirk activation. Both Izuku and Faulkner became confused. Allow me to explain, you see from the beginning of the human race, we have this power we call hysterical strength, something that gets activated when we are in extreme stress. It gives us physical strength in times of panic or near-death experiences, but nobody knows where this strength comes from. When quirks started showing up, the hysterical strength played and still plays a crucial role in activating dormant quirks. When someone without an active quirk feels he is in grave danger, the hysterical strength kicks in and shatters their mental barrier. You must have had a near-death experience. But that also meant that it would damage the user, as their body was not ready to handle the quirk's full power. Izuku thought for a second, and then everything made sense. Yes, this makes perfect sense now. About 3 weeks ago I was attacked by a villain that tried to take over my body. It really did felt like I was dying, my vision was going black, and my body felt weak. Izuku said, recalling the incident before shuddering a little. It makes even more sense as after that incident, every time Iz was in a bad situation my body would feel warm and heart nearly exploded, as before the only thing that happened was my body felt warm. But soon realization dawned on him. His body was not yet ready to handle his quirk, which meant that it was impossible to get into a hero course, a good one at that. But Izuku's voice became sad. That means I won't be able to apply for hero course. What do you think I'm here for? You did hire me to train you after all. Werner said and Izuku became confused again. But didn't you tell me that my body was not ready to handle my power? I said that your body was not ready to handle your quirk's full power. Which means that you will have to use the amount of power that your body can handle, which means say 20 or 40%, and seeing what 100% of your power can do, you would still be strong if you use even 20% of your power. After hearing this, Izuku's face and voice lightened up instantly. Well then, I should take my leave and take this. Faulkner handed Izuku the paper. This contains the routine and the location of Mr. Schwarzenegger's training center. We'll start your training from Monday, and I would recommend that you enjoy these 2 days because from Monday, your life will be hell, Werner said before leaving the apartment. 10 months, I have to make each and every second count. Izuku held that thought for a second. For sensei. That word still brought bittersweet memories. He then began going through the routine. Holy shit, he wasn't lying, my life is going to become hell. His training routine consisted of waking up at 4 a.m. 70 push-ups. 70 pull-ups. 70 jumping jacks. Then running 3.5 km to Werner's training center, where he will do 70 seconds wall sits. 70 mountain climbers. 70 sprinters. 70 high knee. 70 squats. And weightlifting. He had to somehow do it in 1.5 hours. He would then train with his quirk for another 1 hour. He would then return back to his apartment by running another 3.5 km. Then from 7 to 7:40, he will have to get ready for school and have breakfast. His school will start at 8 a.m. and continue till 4 p.m., 6 normal subject class per day, 1 extracurricular class and lunch break, each lasts for 1 hour. He would then have to finish his homework or do other things till 8 p.m., after which he would have to do 70 squats. 70 sit-ups. 70 air punches. Then go for another 7 km run, after which Izuku eat his dinner and go to bed before 10 p.m. His Saturday and Sunday routine will be same, only in these 2 days he train more hours since the school is closed. On Saturdays, he would practice hand-to-hand combat from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and practice with his quirk from 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Same thing on Sundays, except he would meditate for 4 hours, then have 4 hours free time. Izuku's diet consisted of nothing but vegetables, chicken, skimmed milk, no other dairy products, fruits, eggs and fiber-rich items, protein shakes and growth drinks. First month. The first month was the most painful for Izuku. He would often black out from the pain of his muscles that he had to endure. Sometimes, his trainer would suggest to take rest, but his only response was, I have to make each and every second of these 10 months count and rest is a luxury I cannot afford. Second month. The second month was not as painful as the first, but still bad. He had also made progress with his quirk, learning how to control how much he wanted to use, and also found out that it was a stockpile quirk that absorbed solar radiation. He had also gained a little confidence, although he still stuttered while talking in a group or talking to girls. He also had Faulkner go to Musatafu and build a house at the beach where he first absorbed the solar radiation. Third month. Izuku at this point was used to the pain. He had stopped blacking out and even trained through high fever and thunderstorms, another example of his unbreakable willpower. Izuku had also found out that his quirk also depends on stamina as it helps convert the solar energy to kinetic energy. He had stopped stuttering and was even more confident. Fourth month. Izuku no longer felt his muscles pain. He had grown taller due to the growth drinks. His hair had become a little dark and he also got a haircut, think of the post-Ragnarok Thor hair color and haircut. He also discovered that he could divert different percentage of power to different sections of the body, thereby concluding that his threshold is 120%. He also learns that as he grows, the strength of his 120% will also increase. He was also confident enough to talk on stage during improv class and also giving an inspirational speech during a debate competition. Fifth month. Izuku had become more formidable at hand-to-hand combat. At this point all of the teachers of the new school were praising him because of how studious Izuku was. He was also liked by his entire class as he would always help them. But the students would never take advantage of Izuku as they too help him when he needed it. One of the students then commented that Izuku's old friends must miss him dearly, which Izuku denied. He then revealed to them that he never really friends and told them that was bullied, patronized and mistreated for being quirkless and how the teacher ignored it. The whole class was in disbelief and angry. They couldn't bring themselves to believe that someone as good as Izuku never had friends and angry because the very thought of him being beaten up made their blood boil. Some of the hotheads of the class even gave them their number so that he could call them in his hour of need. The teachers now understood why Schmidt liked the boy. Izuku never said no to helping others and was always respectful to the other students. Even those who had weak quirks. 6th month. Izuku was now working on his reflexes without using his quirk. He was also training his hand-leg-eye coordination. Izuku was also learning how to use guns, rocket launcher, and also learning how to operate tanks and SPGs with assistance. He also learned how to fly a helicopter. Izuku was also making great school progress. 7th month. Izuku discovered that he was able to gain a type of sixth sense when he directed 20% of his power to his head. He called it predator sense. It allowed him to see through thin walls, night vision, enhanced hearing and sight, and etc. He also learned that he could direct raw solar radiation to his fist to make them glow, but it didn't have any offensive effects. Izuku had developed a likable banter-filled personality because of the improv class. 8th month. Izuku had exceeded all the expectations. Werner and Faulkner. Not only did he endure through the torturous routine, but he also finished his training 2 months early. 9th month. Izuku had given his final exams and after getting the results, he and his classmates exchanged numbers and made promises to never forget one another and that they will always keep in touch, after which they had a party at one of the students' house and said their final goodbyes. Izuku had mastered as much as he could about his quirk. He thought which hero school to go to and even pondered about going to Rheinmetall Heroics but decided to follow his childhood goal of going to UA. As his final exam was over by the 10th day of the month, he used the remaining 20 days to intern with firefighters and police officers. Izuku's training had also got him 8-pack abs. Along with his height, hairstyle, emerald eyes and light freckled face, meant that whenever he would visit the pool or beach, every teenage girl woman, some 10 or even 20 years older than him, would stare at him with not so innocent eyes. That led to him covering up his body most of the time as he hated showing off. One of those days, he was threatened by some douchebag because he stole all the women's attention. But Izuku knocked him out with a single 20% uppercut. That earned him even more attention as not only was he good looking but also strong. Moreover, the douchebag was the spoiled child of some millionaire and would harass girls or women who went to that pool. So he was crowded, thanked, complimented and even kissed by some girls. Izuku somehow managed to stutter his way out of the crowd as although he could talk to girls, he was not good with girls in swimwear. After that day, Izuku swore to himself that he would never go to another public pool. Final month, Musatafu. Izuku returned to Musatafu and was very impressed by how his house turned out to be. He even thought that Faulkner had gone a little overboard with the design and size of the house, it even had its own dock and helipad. Imagine Stark's Malibu house, but with a rooftop helipad and stairs leading down to a dock. The house high-tech in every single way possible. As Izuku finished his training 1 month early, he had extra time to do whatever he wanted with the time he had before the exam, although he would still do his morning workout routine. While going for his morning run, he came across Dagaba Beach. A beach littered with garbage. Izuku frowned to see the place so dirty and remembered something that the police officer he was interning with for 10 days told him. Just having hero status is not enough. Service is what matters. Izuku decided to put those words to practice. He started to clean the entire beach by himself. Cleaning for 10 hours from 7 AM to 5 PM. Izuku, with the help of his quirk, managed to clean the entire beach in 20 days. He decided to train in this beach rather than the one close to his house, as this beach was roughly 3.5 km from his house. 2 days later, the news of his deed made it to the newspaper and eyewitnesses say that a boy with blonde hair was seen cleaning the beach. He would also visit the office to check on how the office workers were doing. The Musatafu branch was one of the only branches of the company, along with the Geneva, Dusseldorf and Munich branch, that knew Izuku was now the CEO, and they couldn't be happier, as the company didn't fall in the hands of someone power-hungry. 3 days before the entrance exam. Okay, just 3 more days to go, can't say I'm not nervous. If the old me was where I am now, I'm sure he would have passed out due to nervousness by now. Izuku was talking to himself like a madman while absorbing solar energy. All I have to do is play it cool, and everything will be fine, A-okay, he said while simultaneously sweating like a waterfall. Holy shit, everything is not okay. What the fuck am I going to do? What if I forget everything I learned for the written exam, what? If I fail to impress the teachers? What if I wake up and realize that this is all a stupid dream and I am just quirkless Deku? What if the Martians attack? What if Godzilla comes out of the ocean? Calm down, Izuku, it's not the time to have a panic attack, you still have other options like Shiketsu. Even Heroics is still up. Izuku said to himself. God, it's so frustrating. Izuku unconsciously directed 120%, which is equivalent to 120% of Izuku's OFA when he gets it. It is 20% more powerful because of the training to his right arm and punched the air with so much force that it momentarily parted the ocean in front of him before the water formed archways. Then all the displaced water was rushing towards him like a mini tsunami. Izuku braced himself for both the water and the pain from his broken right arm, but there was no pain in his arm. He looked down to see that his arm was completely fine. He wanted to examine his arm, but realized that a huge wave was about to engulf him, so he redirected 120% to his arm again, and seconds before the wave hit him, he punched towards the sky. The air pressure generated by the kinetic energy was so great that it turned the water into drops, launched them into the sky. Wait, have I mastered my quirk? I think I have. I can use 120% impacts without any backlash, the now confident Izuku thought to himself before preparing another 120% impact. So he punched the air again with the same amount of force he used the last time. But this time, although it was a successful impact, he broke his entire arm, like the other times he used 120%. Duke, I need to heal this quick. He then quickly activated Super Heal. Super Heal. Izuku can heal himself by directing 120% to his torso, which makes his heart imbue his blood with solar healing particles. However, it drains his stamina very much and makes him vulnerable and unable to defend himself or attack. Izuku immediately redirected all the energy to his torso. Seconds later, his right arm was completely healed. He sat down as he was a bit exhausted from using Super Heal. He then noticed that his radiation absorption time was over, and so he concluded that he could use 120% SS without damaging himself during the recharge period. What he didn't notice was that the recoil shockwave and air pressure made a flat crater around him. So I can't harm myself during the recharge time, good to know. I should probably request for a pickup. He then proceeded to press the power button 7 times. That's quite a powerful quirk you've got there, a male voice spoke. Huh? Izuku turned around to see 3 people who he immediately recognized. A few minutes ago. I can't believe I let you drag me into your full night petrels. The R-rated hero Midnight grumbled while walking with her 2 colleagues, Present Mick and Eraserhead. Yeah, last time I checked, I was the most persuasive out of us 3. Mick said. I want sleep, Midnight said in a whiny way. Now you know why I love sleep so much, Azawa said with a grin. Also, this is your punishment for hiding my precious sleeping bag. Okay, Mick huffed. 6 days gone, 1 more to go. By the way, why are we going this way? All of our homes are near the main city, Midnight asked Azawa. I wanted to see Dagaba Beach again, now that it has been cleaned, Azawa replied. Oh yeah, Dagaba Beach, I have a lot of memories connected to that place, Mick said. Me too, commented Midnight. After a couple of minutes they reached the beach and walked down the stairs to the sand. Ah, this place brings back a lot of memories, Azawa said with a small smile. The other pros agreed. Then out of the corner of their eyes, they noticed something. They fully turned their heads to see what looked like a boy with blonde hair, glowing. They were about to go near him to ask what he was doing when the boy reared his arm and punched the air at the direction of the ocean. For a split second, the heroes could see that the water had parted in 2, after which, they were immediately knocked down on the ground due to the recoil shockwave. The shockwave was immediately followed up by strong winds that managed to push the pros back a little. They were about to stand up, but were knocked down by another, stronger shockwave, followed by even stronger winds. This shockwave was even more powerful because Izuku punched towards the sky, which meant that the shockwave was spreading horizontally. As they were trying to get up, they were knocked down a 3rd time by another strong shockwave, followed by a powerful gust of wind. The pros finally were able to get back on their feet. They saw the boy sitting on the ground, and after a minute of silence, Mick spoke the only 3 words his mind could process. So much power, Mick said in an astonished tone. Couldn't agree more, Midnight told in an equally astonished tone. Imagine what would happen if his punches were directed towards us, Azawa said with wide eyes. I don't want to imagine that, Mick said. That power felt familiar, all 3 of them thought. They went near the boy and noticed that he was talking to himself, unaware of them. So I can't harm myself during the recharge time, good to know. I should probably request for a pickup, the boy said as he took out his phone and pressed the power button 7 times in rapid succession. That's quite a powerful quirk you've got there, Azawa said after a moment of silence. The boy turned his face to reveal familiar-looking emerald eyes and face. Oh, good morning, Eraserhead, you 2, Present Mick and Midnight, Izuku said before turning his head towards the ocean. Then realization dawned on him. There were 3 very famous pro heroes standing behind him. Izuku immediately stood up and turned around. Eraserhead, Midnight, Present Mick. Izuku half screamed. Oh my god, I am a very big fan of yours, which is why I'm geeking out, and now I'm making self-aware statements, aren't I? I'll stop talking now. The hero's only sweat dropped at the boy's antics. So what was that about, practicing your quirk? Aizawa questioned. No, I was getting rid of some frustration. What kind of frustration relieving method was? If you want I could tell you some other methods, for instance, at night you could try to play with your HMMMPH. Midnight was about to say something, but was cut off when her face, leaving out her nose, was mummified by Eraserhead's scarf. Ignoring whatever she was about to say, you planning to become a hero? Asked Eraserhead. I am. I want to go to UA. Well, with a quirk as powerful as yours, you'll definitely get into UA, Mick said. You see, there's a problem, the power that I used just then was my full power. And the problem is? Inquired Eraserhead. Let me explain. Using my full power can severely damage my body. Eraserhead, Mick and probably Midnight too gave him a confused look. Izuku then continued to explain that his quirk wasn't meant to show up this early, that he had only 10 months to train with his quirk and how his quirk got activated. So how much can you use? 40% to 60%, 70% at best. Then that's not a problem, seeing what your full power can do, 60%, hell even 40% should be adequate for whatever practical exam they will have. Really? Izuku saw a couple of people in black suits standing above the stairs and knew it was time to go. Anyway, I have to rush now, 3 days to get ready for the written exams. Before you go, what's your name? Izuku just smiled and said. You will know my hero name when I make my debut. But that he ran up the stairs and disappeared. This kid Aizawa grinned. And although the pros didn't say anything to one another, Izuku's face reminded them of two of their old classmates, Toshinori Yagi and Inko Midoriya. Over the next few days, Izuku had studied everything he could and also gave his attacks names. Mercury impact is 20%. Venus impact is 40%. Mars impact is 60%. Saturn impact is 80%. Jupiter impact is 100% and solar impact is 120%. The day of the exam, outside the UA gates. So today is the day, the culmination of all my hard work for the past 10 months will show on this day, Izuku thought before going into the building. After giving the written test, the students were called into an auditorium where Izuku saw a familiar pro hero. After being instructed by Mick, the candidates headed to their respective battle centers. Outside the gates of the city, Izuku could see candidates with a very diverse range of quirks, if only he had his notebook. My notebooks. Then he noticed a particular boy's quirk. Iida was it? Yes, do you have any questions regarding the exam? No. I was just curious if you are related to Ingenium. How did you know? Well, I'm a very big hero nerd and the Cavs kinda gave it away. Anyways, good luck for the exam. Yeah, you too. What's your name by the way? Yagi, Izuku Yagi. A few seconds later. Right, let's start, Mick's voice echoed from the tower. And while the other students were still thinking about what to do, Izuku immediately took action. I need to reach the robot heavy zone fast, directing 50% to both of my legs and 10% to both arms. As soon as he reached the hot zone, he redirected 20% to both of his legs so that he would be able to use the remaining 80% as he wanted. At first he used a Saturn Impact 2 to destroy a line of 1-pointers, giving him 10 points. Then he used Mars Impacts to take out a couple of 2 and 3-pointers, earning him another 21 points. In a dark room, many people were watching the candidates take out robots. Clearly, the candidates don't know how many robots are there or their locations, a small mouse-like animal said. They have limited time and a vast area to hunt down every last target. Some use information gathering to plan out their strategy, others use speed to remain ahead of their peers, some use brute force, of course being calm under pressure is also important. Then there are those who use a combination of all of these tactics, they are the ones who get the top scores. The screen changed to show Izuku getting one 3-pointer to launch its missile and hit and destroy another 3-pointer. Izuku was in the process taking out 2 3-pointers when he heard Iida's voice. Yagi, duck. Izuku immediately ducked and saw Iida jump above him and take out a 2-pointer that was sneaking up behind him. Thanks. No problem. Iida duck. Now it was Iida's time to duck, then Izuku threw the one of the 3-pointer at 4 3-pointers behind Iida. Thanks. No problem. In the observation room. The perfect example is that candidate, he is making plans on the go and using his cool-headedness to implement said plans, but he won't shy away from using brute force. Vlad, what's his name by the way? Eraserhead asked. The blonde candidates. Yeah. His name is Izuku. Vlad stopped reading, looking surprised. Izuku Yagi. This name surprised everyone, even the principal. So that's why he looked so familiar, and also the reason why his quirk felt familiar, Midnight said. His quirk felt familiar. The principal raised an eyebrow. Yeah, 3 days ago we encountered him practicing, and the recoiling shock wave and air pressure from his punches was enough to knock us down 3 times in quick succession. That does sound like All Might's power. Strange, the principal thought All Might hasn't chosen a successor yet, I wish he was present here today. And his emerald eyes inco Midoriya Midnight said. Ha. That means I won the bet, hand over the 5,000 yen, Azawa. Yes, you won. But what I don't understand is why he is not taking admission through recommendations. He won't be able to, All Might already got one student, and Nezu replied. I think he wants to prove something to someone. Every teacher agreed to Midnight's statement. I guess Azawa spoke. All in all, this year's batch seemed to be promising, Midnight said. That may be so, but the real test is yet to come. Let's see how they react. With Izuku. Izuku at this point had accumulated 90 points in total and was more than confident that it was enough for him to get into. Then suddenly the ground started shaking. And moments later gargantuan robots filled the battle center. So this is a 0-pointer. Everyone was running away. Izuku was about to run too, but heard a cry for help. Izuku couldn't pinpoint the location of the sound, so he used Eagle Vision to find it. After using Eagle Vision, he saw that a girl was trapped under some rubble and she was about to be crushed by a 0-pointer. Izuku's legs moved on their own. He began running towards the 0-pointer. Every teacher in the observation room was grinning at this point. Seeing this boy, son of All Might and Titan, Izuku Yagi, a kid they had no connection with, run towards danger to help someone in need just like a true hero should. They couldn't expect less from him. That's right, anyone may be blessed with a powerful quirk, but only some possess the most important trait of a true hero. Nezu said. Izuku directed 60% to both of legs and jumped as high as the robot. Self-sacrifice, Nezu concluded. Izuku then directed everything he had to his right arm. I don't want you to be number one, I want you to be legendary. Those words echoed in his mind. Slayer impaiiked. Boom. As soon as Izuku's fist hit the robot, its entire body was first pushed back, then its head came off, and finally it toppled and crashed into the ground. The recoil shock wave knocked down many of the candidates, and the air pressure had made it difficult for them to breathe for a few seconds. Izuku was happy that he saved someone, but noticed how high he was and went to panic mode. Seeing that he was falling quickly, he did the only thing he could at that time. He directed everything to his head, thus activating Super Time. Super Time. Izuku's ability to nearly stop time. When he directs 120% of his energy to head, it accelerates his brain power so much that it nearly stops time for him, thus giving him time to think in tight situation. However, if he keeps using it for more than 7 seconds, which is equivalent to 70 seconds, he will immediately pass out. Okay Izuku, don't panic, you're 7 stories high and rapidly falling, but you have 70 seconds to come up with a plan. Izuku thought for 30 seconds before he finally got an idea. Okay, all I have to do is redirect everything to my soles of my feet, and right before hitting the ground I have to move my legs so that the air pressure would act as a cushion. I hope it works, and it did work. The dust settled to reveal Izuku standing. He tried to lift both of his arms in triumph, but soon realized that it was a bad idea as his right arm was broken. Wow, did you see that? Yeah, that right there is true power. Holy shit, that guy just destroyed a 0-pointer. How the heck did he survive the fall? In the observation room. That was impressive. It was, he took out a 0-pointer in one punch, Midnight said. Although, he seems to have wounded himself, Nezu commented. Recovery girl is on her way, as always said. They did say that his power felt similar, but even the injuries look are similar, Nezu and Recovery girl thought. With Izuku. People were starting to crowd him, something Izuku hated. Then the crowd was broken up by Recovery girl. You seem to have damaged your arm, Sonny. Come here, I'll heal you. I'm fine, Recovery girl, please check the girl, her leg is trapped under the rubble. But your arm? Oh, it happens every time I use my full power, but don't worry and watch this. Then Izuku's torso area began to glow, and much to surprise of Recovery girl and the other candidates, Izuku's arm began to heal. Is the exams over, or do we have to do something else? Oh, there's nothing more to do, you can go home now, but before you go, have some gummies. Thank you. With that Izuku left. Maybe Toshinori-san has a healing quirk, and that too a healing quirk that doesn't drain stamina, Recovery girl thought before tending to any injured candidate. In truth, however, Izuku was very drained. He was barely conscious throughout the journey back home. As soon as he reached his house, he immediately went to the bedroom, not bothering to change or take a shower. Thank you, deception class, Izuku thought before falling asleep. 1 week later. Izuku was impatiently waiting for the phone call as he gave the address of the office, since he didn't want to give his house address. Then his phone rang. So, did I get in? Izuku asked in anticipation. Yes, you did. Outside UA gate. So this is it, my path to becoming a legendary hero starts today, Izuku said to himself. Welp, no use standing outside. Izuku was fast pacing through the hallways, looking for Class 1 when he was stopped by a present Mick and Eraserhead. Yogi Eraserhead called out. Hello Eraserhead, sir. I didn't know that you were teaching here. Top secret and things like that. Anyway, the teachers want to have a talk with you in the staff room, Eraserhead said in a monotone voice. Calm down Izuku, just tell them casually. Oh okay, but can I ask you something? Sure. Will All Might be present there? No, he will reach by 10. Good, this will be easier than I thought. In the staff room. The old nervous Izuku was back as he walked into the room. As soon as he entered, he saw that the principal was also present there and all the teachers' eyes fell on him, making him blush again because although he could handle being in the attention of teachers and students during speeches, being the center of attention of many pro-heroes was something else. So this is All Might's and Titan's son, Vlad commented. Now that I see him up close, he does look like Inko and Toshinori, Nezu said. This made Izuku frown a little as he was known for being All Might's and Titan's and not his own person. So, Izuku, Nezu began. You could have gotten into UA through recommendations, but you decided to give the entrance exam. Was it to prove something to your parents, he asked. No sir. Getting to UA was my one goal. It was not to prove something, Izuku answered. But you could have joined through recommendations, seeing who your father is. What was your motivation, he commented. There was no other motivation, I had to get into UA and the entrance was the only way. But the statement was a lie, since he could have easily gotten through recommendations if he just showed his graduation certificate from Rheinmetall, but he wanted to be fair and give everyone a chance, he didn't want to rob someone of their seat. As for the other question, we had a falling out, or rather I had a falling out with them. Falling out? Everyone raised an eyebrow. Yeah. And was All Might recommending someone else the reason of the quarrel? Nezu asked, thinking that Izuku was one of those spoiled kids who would throw a temper tantrum if they didn't get what they wanted. No, I didn't even know that my parents were pro-heroes until 11 months ago and haven't talked to them since then. Now the teachers were even more confused. But were impressed as Izuku developed a selfless trait without him knowing who his parents were. No, the reason is he hesitated. I think it would be better if you asked him. Anyways, I think I should go to class, I want to know who my classmates are. Very well, thank you for your time, but you could have also gotten admission just by showing your graduation certificate from Rheinmetall. Why didn't you do that? Same reason, but before I go, I have a request to make to all the teachers. And what may that be, Nezu inquired. Please don't call me All Might's son in front of any students because firstly, I hate attention and secondly, I want to be known as Izuku Yagi or by my hero name, not as All Might's son or Titan's son. This fully impressed all the teachers as anyone else would love the attention and boast about who their parents were after finding out this late. Little did they know that Izuku found out about his parents in the worst way possible. After Izuku left, Eraserhead explained to the teachers about his force quirk activation and how his quirk was not meant to show up this early. And so the principal, because of his high specs, concluded that Izuku had an evolved version of Ofa, but that still didn't explain how he was able to heal his arm so quickly. Wana Izuku was running through the hallways looking for Class 1 when he finally found it. There it is. Whoa, I think they made it for students with gigantification quirks. Speaking of which, I wonder what their quirks are. I mean, they have to be good, considering most of them got in through the exams, Izuku said to himself and opened the door halfway. Take your feet off of that desk now. That's Iida. TCH. And that's Iga Tantrum, figures, of course he would be in 1A. It's the first day and you're already disrespecting this academy by scuffing school property, Iida scolded, much to the disinterest of Bakugo, speaking of which. You're kidding me, right? Your old school put a stick up your ass, or were you born with it? Izuku's sweat dropped. Let's start over, I'm Tenya Iida from Same Private Academy, Iida clarified as he did the hand thing. Same, huh, so you must think that you're better than me. I'm gonna have fun tearing you a new one. You're threatening me? A classmate. Are you sure you're in the right place? Then Izuku entered the class and got most of the attention directed to him. It's him, Iida spoke first. Whoa, that's the guy who destroyed the zero-pointer. Yeah, I heard he got the most points out of all the examinees. Yeah, he saved my life. Hello, everyone, Izuku greeted. Good morning, Yagi, Iida greeted as he mechanically walked to Izuku. Iida was about to say something to Izuku when. Baku. Hold that thought, Izuku whispered to Iida. Oh hey Iga Tantrum, long time no see, he turned towards Bakugo. How the fuck did you get in? Wait, what did you just call me? Iga Tantrum. At this point Bakugo looked like he was about to strangle a tree. And only three things were going through his head. Firstly, how did Izuku get into UA? Secondly, how did Izuku get the guts to talk back to him, and thirdly, how the hell did he become so confident? These thoughts overshadowed the fact that Izuku was now 600 and blonde. You dare talk back to me, you useless trash, I'll fucking destroy you. Are you done throwing your tantrum, Iga tantrum? Izuku asked in a bland tone. This earned a couple of laughs from some of the students. Listen up Bakugo. Izuku glared at Bakugo. I don't care that you are better than me or that you want to destroy me. In the coming 3 years, I will beat you in everything and prove to you that I am not the old Deku you pushed over. Why you Bakugo was readying his fist. And if I were you, I would recommend that you get rid of your old habits, since I heard that this school does not take kindly to that type of behavior and you will be punished no matter who recommended you. DCH Bakugo said as he went back to his seat, still glaring at Izuku. Anyways, now that Iga Tantrum's tantrum is over, what were you about to say, Iida? Yagi, you realized that there was something more to the practical exam, didn't you? Hence why you managed to get the highest score 170, which makes you a more capable student than I am, Iida inquired, still doing the robot hand thing. This got everyone's attention, leaving out Bakugo and a few other students. What do you mean? And last time I checked I got 90 points. Izuku gave a confused look. You didn't know? Know what? There were rescue points being awarded for well rescuing people, that's why you got 80 extra points. Recovery girl told us after you left, Iida informed. What? I seriously had no idea. I did everything out of impulse. That means you risked yourself to save someone. Yes, and I would do it again, no matter what. And although some students were not looking at him, they were taken aback by his words. Incredible. Wow. That's a real man. What no one knew was that the principal was walking by the classroom and heard the entire conversation between Iida and Izuku. Hey, anyway, I don't think that we've been formally introduced. I'm Iida Tenya and I'm from Same Private Academy. I'm Izuku Yagi and I'm from Rheinmetall Advanced Education, Dusseldorf, Germany. This got everyone's attention, even the recommended students, again leaving out Bakugo. And everyone was speechless at what Izuku said next. Rheinmetall. I knew that you are a better student than me. It will be an honor and privilege to study and train with you, Yagi. Whoa, slow down Iida, I think you're overthinking it a tad bit more than you should with the honor and privilege thing. That may be so, but why you? There were many other better options in other countries and the graduation certificate from Rheinmetall is basically a gold recommendation card, so why give the entrance exam? I gave the exam as I wanted it to be fair to other candidates and not rob them of their seat. Moreover, I wanted to earn my place. And secondly, I did think about going to Rheinmetall Heroics, but UA was my childhood goal, so here I am. Izuku looked at the other students. And all of you are here too, meaning that you all are my equal as most of also gave the exam and the others got in through recommendations, showing how strong all of you are. All of you could beat me in any class activity or sports. But Izuku have a cocky grin. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna make it easy for you. Then, silence. That's so manly. A red-haired boy with shark-like teeth exclaimed while crying manly tears. Yeah, I know right. A pink-haired and skinned girl shouted in agreement. This guy totally broke the stereotype that super elite students are condescending, patronizing and spoiled. A guy with blonde hair spoke. Couldn't agree more. A purple-haired girl with audio jacks for earlobes affirmed. Oh man, now all the girls will ignore me. A short guy with grape hair told. And seconds later Izuku was crowded. Hey man, the name's Ejiro Kirishima and what you said they're totally manly. The spiky-haired boy introduced himself. I must agree with our classmate, your small speech has inspired me and I assume many of the students to be the best they can. Iida commented. Good to know. Izuku smiled. As he was talking to Iida, he didn't notice a certain raven-haired, spiky ponytailed student approaching him. He felt a small tap on his shoulder and turned around. I must agree what you said was very ins. Whatever she was about to say was forgotten when she realized who the boy was. Momo at first didn't notice who the boy was because of the hair and height change. Izuku didn't notice her when he looked at the classroom as he was giving his speech. But as soon as they recognized each other, they just stared for what seemed like an hour before blushing 70 shades of red. SOUAH huh? Izuku tried to look cool and not stutter but failed. Although he was glad that the girl was also stuttering. Why yeah, didn't he think I would find you here? Momo stuttered. Awkward, Izuku said after a brief silence. Flashback to 11 months ago, the day of the fateful meeting with Schmidt. God damn it, now that I think about it, I still had some time left, I could have at least eaten a piece of bread. Izuku was walking through the city while looking at the sky. That's my luck I guess, he said to himself. Then, he tripped on the sidewalk curb while crossing a road. At this point he didn't even try to cover his face, as he just accepted the fact that was going to fall and break his face. He closed his eyes. Yup, just my luck was his thought as he braced himself for the pain, only it never came. Yes, he did fall, but the pain never came. In fact, he felt soft pillows on both his cheeks. Izuku slowly opened his eyes and saw a girl with beautiful onyx eyes and raven hair. Both of them just looked at each other before Izuku realized that the pillows were the girl's boobs and the position they were in. Izuku tried to lift himself and move away, but because of the frantic movement, his arms lost grip and he fell again. But this time he felt the pillows on his chest and something warm and soft on his lips. Then he immediately realized what the soft feeling on his lips were and launched himself in the air like a cat does when it sees a cucumber. Izuku then helped the girl get up, then immediately did a 90-degree bow and profusely apologized. "I am so sorry. I should have been looking where I was going. Please don't call the police." He heard the girl giggle a little and stood up straight. "It's fine, everyone makes mistakes." Both of them just looked at the other's eyes before blushing madly. Sorry, I should be going, I'll be late for school." "Yeah, me too, have some business to take care of." With that, the two of them went their separate ways. But Izuku didn't expect my first kiss to go that way. But those onyx eyes. She was beautiful. He thought as he blushed. With Momo. Not how I expected my first kiss to be. Then again those emerald eyes. He was cute. She thought she blushed. Back to reality. After a few more moments of staring, Momo decided to break the silence. I wonder what we'll do today, besides the orientation program," she said, regaining her composure. Then there was some more awkward silence. "If the only thing you want to do is talk and make friends, then I recommend you to pack your things and go somewhere else." All the students froze, even though Izuku knew whose voice it was. All of them slowly looked down to see what looked like a yellow caterpillar. Something has arrived. All the students standing in the doorway thought. "Welcome to UA's hero course," the caterpillar said as he drank a carton of juice in one go. "It took all of you 7 seconds to shut up and time is of the essence." The caterpillar said as it stood up and revealed that it was man in a sleeping bag. "Right, I'm your teacher Shouta Izawa, yada yada. Put these on and head outside." Izawa said in a lazy tone and handed everyone their PE uniforms. "With All Might, staff room." "Long time no see," Toshinori Nezu greeted. "Yes sir. It's great to see you too. Now, although you have 7 hours of muscle form time, you don't need to waste it in the staff room." All Might then deflated into his skeleton form. "I guess you're right," Skelmite said. "By the way, you never told me or anyone of your old friends that you had a son." "Leerg, how did you know that?" he said while spitting blood. "Midnight, Eraserhead and Izawa ran into him in Dagaba Beach a couple of days ago. They immediately said that he looked like you and Inko. But Izuku said something about a falling out. I need to ask them where they found him. Nick will be free after a few minutes. In the meantime, may I ask what the falling out was?" Nezu said, waiting to surprise All Might. "It was because of us. We never had time to talk to him about his problems, and whenever he wanted to tell us about his treatment at school because of quirklessness, we just shrugged it off as just playground insults, and now, both me and Inko are paying the price," Toshinori said in a sad tone. "And I guess he overheard my and Bakigu's conversation. You and Inko should have known better. I know we messed up bad. What are you going to do now?" Nezu asked. "Find where he's living and try and make it up to him, no matter what." "Do you mean it, Toshinori?" Nezu asked. "With every fiber of my being," All Might answered, making Nezu smile. "Then you'll have 3 years to do it." "Huh? What do you mean?" "Izuku Yagi is here, in UA's hero course." "Bob Blair God," All Might shouted while throwing up blood. "Calm down, Toshinori. I'll show you." Nezu then showed All Might the exam video, and the only thing that All Might thought was he should have been the one. And to rub salt in the wound, Nezu told him about the conversation he overheard between Izuku and Iida. Nezu also told him about Izuku's forced quirk activation and how it got activated, reminding All Might of that day. He also told All Might about his theory that Izuku's quirk is an involved version of Ofa, but was still unsure how Izuku was able to heal his arm. All Might also concluded that the hair color change was because of the quirk activation. A few things are still a mystery though, like what he stockpiles, if it even is stockpile quirk, or can he pass it down. The biggest mystery is how he is able to heal himself. "Yes, but I need to observe and feel the power myself before I can come to a conclusion," All Might said, wanting to see his son more than the quirk. "He's in 1A with Izawa. And if I'm not mistaken, his first class usually consists of a quirk assessment test. I recommend that you hide behind the storage house. I shall also be present to observe the quirk." All Might nodded. "With 1A. But what about the introduction program?" the girl named Uraraka asked Eraserhead. "You're in the hero course, you have no time to waste on those stupid ceremonies. So, let's start. Bakugu, what was your farthest ball throw in junior high?" 67 meters, Bakugu answered. Then the class was interrupted by a small mouse-like animal dressed in a 3-piece suit. "It's the principal." Many of the students exclaimed. Well Izawa, you're doing the usual quirk assessment test for the first years. I hope you're not threatening them with expulsion or actually thinking about expelling them. Threatening them with expulsion. Actual expulsion. All the students' sweat dropped. No sir, Izawa said, looking at the students with a shit-eating grin. I shall also assess their quirks this time. The whole class sweat dropped. But Izawa knew whose quirk the principal wanted to see. Should I have to make a good first impression? I should stick with 40% and not worry about breaking any bones instead of 70%, Izuku thought. Now Bakugo, step into the ring, then use your quirk to throw the ball. Bakugo obeyed. I'll just add an explosion here. Eared his arm and threw the ball with an explosion powering it. He shouted. I guess he's still the same. Izawa was looking at the screen and then showed it to the students. 721 meters. I should also remind you that at UA you will be pushed to your absolute limits and your life will be total hell. Izawa grinned, lifting some hair off of his face. Let the games begin. Nezu said with enthusiasm. Throughout the assessment test, many students showed their strengths and their weaknesses, leaving out one student, Izuku Yagi. It was as if he had no weakness. Some students even speculated that he had some type of an adaptation quirk. Some of the teachers who had free periods also came out to see the test, especially Izuku's. That prompted All Might, who was both impressed and happy by the results of his son, to come out of his hiding spot. Every other student was excited to see All Might, but Izuku completely ignored him, much to All Might's grief. All in all, Izuku crushed the competition. Getting the highest score in everything, like 1.90 second the 50m-900 units in the grip test, and so on and so forth. Then Izawa showed the scores one more time before moving into the ball throw. And, Yagi, I think the scores disprove that we are all equal, the boy named Sato said. I disagree. Didn't I tell you that I won't make it easy for any of you to beat me? I guess, Sato muttered. Yagi, Izawa called out. It's the final test for the day, step inside the circle and throw the ball. Izuku went inside the circle, he picked up the ball and thought of an idea. Sensei, this is the last test, isn't it? He asked. Yes. So can I go beyond, plus ultra, and use my full power? This intrigued all the teachers present there, including All Might, but shocked all the other students. Full power, all the students shouted in unison. Yeah, Izuku stated. Yagi, then how much were you using up until now? It was Momo who asked the question this time. Both of them looked at each other, blushed a little, much to the confusion of the teachers and students, then after forming the words in his brain, Izuku answered. 40%. What? The students screamed again. Are you done with the screaming? We're wasting time, and I need some sleep, Izawa said as he activated his quirk to look scary. Here goes. Izuku activated SS, his body began to glow and directed everything to his right arm, and just as he was about to throw the ball. Wait, it was Izawa that interrupted him this time. Izawa, didn't you just say that the student's wasting time, now you're the one who's doing it, Midnight teased. That might be so, but I don't want to be thrown around like a crash test dummy, he said as he tied himself and the principal to the nearest flagpole. Both Mick and Midnight knew what he meant and also tied themselves to the flagpole using Izawa's scarf. At this point, all of the teachers were at the field due to recess period and were confused at what the three were doing but didn't know that they were gonna find out very soon. Heck, even the principal didn't know what Izawa was doing. Izawa only said trust me and nothing more to Nezu. Yagi, you're good to go. Izuku activated SS again and directed everything to his right arm and threw the ball with everything he had. The students and the teachers were immediately thrown back 25 feet, the shock wave was so great that the students in the school building also felt it. Then came the air and it pushed all the students and teachers into the fence, which seemed to be barely holding on due to the air and the extra weight pushing on it. The air pressure also made it difficult for them to breathe. Even the four teachers who were tied to the pole were flung up, although they were not thrown back. By the end, only All Might was standing. The dust settled to reveal Izuku, with his right hand damaged. The white circle surrounding him had turned into an oval-shaped moat. Even Bakugo was speechless, but filled with rage. He tried running towards Izuku but was stopped by Izawa's scarf. A few minutes later the students and teachers had recovered and started talking amongst themselves about what just happened. Yagi, you should immediately go to Recovery Girl and get your hand healed. All Might said with concern in this voice. That won't be necessary. Izuku immediately directed everything to his torso, and much to everyone's shock, his hand began to glow and seconds later, it had fully healed. Then All Might remembered that Nezu said that Izuku's quirk, whatever it was, had healing abilities. Izawa-sensei, how far did the ball go? Izuku asked. Izawa took out the measurement and saw the result with wide eye. 25.17 kilometers. Everyone was silent. Alright, wanna head back to your class and get ready for the next subject, Nezu spoke up. The students changed back to their school uniform and went back to their class where Izuku realized that he still hadn't picked a seat. And since all the other seats had been taken, Izuku had no choice but to go to the only seat available next to Momo. Oh, great, improv lessons won't help me here, although she is beautiful, Izuku thought, blushing. Oh come, how the heck can I deal with the awkwardness with him sitting next to me, but then again he is handsome, Momo thought, blushing. The rest of the class went in normally and most of the students found it boring, leaving out Momo, Izuku and Iida. Then school got over and the pink girl, Mina, came up with an idea. Hey everyone, I have an idea, let's go to my house for a small party to get to know each other properly. Nearly all the students agreed, leaving out Bakugo and Todoroki as they went home early. The remaining 18 students were walking out of school campus when they noticed 2 limousines with 2 escorts, each parked on the opposite side of the gate. Izuku and Momo immediately frowned after seeing the cars. So much for house party, they said in unison, surprising themselves and their friends. Well, Ishido, I guess I won't be able to attend the party, important things to do, Izuku said sadly as he remembered he had a board meeting. Same here, added Momo. Anyway, good night and see you tomorrow, Momo said. Same here, Izuku unconsciously mimicked Momo's words, which made them blush again. After which they went to their respective limos. What's with those two? No idea. Izuku's house, the next morning. Izuku was absorbing solar radiation while trying to figure out what directing raw solar energy, which he discovered he could do during the 7th month of his training, to his arms or legs did, but aside from glowing, it did nothing. In fact, it created a severe disadvantage. Izuku directed the raw radiation to his arms or legs and tried to punch, kick, walk and run using it, but all it did was throw him off balance. No practical use of directing raw energy, other than ruining my balance. The only thing that the ability or disability is useful is if ever I need to be a human torch. Or if I want to become a here I am. Attack me. Signal during stealth missions. Izuku quickly realized what he said as he recorded the voice log. Correction, this ability does has a good use. I can use the light produced to send out and so signal if I'm exhausted and or severely wounded and unable to fight. I don't think it takes any stamina to make my body light up. Izuku turned off his audio logbook. Keeping a logbook was actually suggested by Werner. He said that it is always important to note down one's strengths and weaknesses and review them later to improve them. Izuku looked at the time and decided that it would be better to start from home early as he had some things to take care of in the office. Izuku also notified his driver that he didn't have to pick him up after school and that he would walk back home. After signing a few documents, Izuku looked at his watch, the same watch that Schmidt gifted him, and saw that he still had some time left and decided that he would go on foot. Izuku took a right turn towards UA when he recognized the sidewalk he was standing on. Izuku let go of an audible sigh. It's a miracle that nobody saw what happened. I need to talk to her more to make it less awkward. Wait, what if it makes it even more awkward? No, I need to at least try to talk to her more casually, but will she treat me casually? And why am I matching words? UA. Izuku entered his classroom and took his seat. A few moments later Momo entered the class and took her seat next to Izuku. Now is your chance, Izuku, goddammit, say something. Good morning, Yaoi Rozu, Izuku greeted. Really, good morning. Izuku mentally slapped himself. Huh? Oh. Good morning to you too, Yagi, Momo responded. They stared at each other in silence for a few seconds before Izuku broke the silence. Yaoi Rozu, I have something to ask. Go on. I just want to know if you see me as a pervert. Why did you ask her that? You're making it worse. Why would I think that? Momo gave a confused look. Well, because of the 11 months ago. Oh, thought Momo said with a laugh. How the two didn't stutter or blush was beyond them. Remember what I told you that day, accidents happened, Momo smiled. Besides, she continued. I think I can tell who is a pervert just by looking at them, she said, pointing at Mineta. I guess. Izuku smiled in return. What do you think we'll do today? Izuku asked. I think most of the day we'll have normal classes, considering that the books we received were English, history, etc., etc. We'll probably also have heroics class. Heroics class, eh? All Might, Izuku thought. Yup, other than that, I don't think that we'll have anything out of the ordinary. Yagi, someone called out. Izuku and Momo turned to see Iida. The class was also full by now as all the students had arrived. Oh, good morning, Iida responded. Yes, good morning, Iida greeted back. Did you want to ask me about anything? Yes, it's about your quirk actually. What about it? About 2 years ago, my brother was on a rescue mission with All Might. The mission was a success and when I asked how it felt fighting evil alongside the symbol of peace, my brother said that All Might had this ability to inspire. Moreover, he described the change in air pressure and shock waves All Might exerts when he fights in great detail to me. And you're saying this because? Izuku realized what Iida was going to ask. He's onto me. There are similarities between both of you. Like your ability to inspire and the nature of your quirk. This got the class interested. I just wanted to ask if you're his son or if you and All Might are related somehow. Izuku was desperately trying to find an excuse. Now that you've mentioned it, both of them also have the same hair color, Momo said. Yesterday too. When All Might was observing our quirks, one of us were excited with the exception of Yagi. Ashido added. It's like Yagi knows him personally, Kiro the frog-like girl named Asui correction, Sayu said. Yeah, that too, Siro agreed. Think Izuku think. Everyone was looking at him in anticipation. That's it. They know All Might, but not Toshinori Yagi. Well, first things first, whatever I said yesterday was my honest opinion. I was surprised when Iida said that he was inspired. Secondly, quirks can be similar without being hereditary, for example, telekinetic quirks are very common. Thirdly, me being calm and not excited was a part of my training. And lastly, my dad's name is Toshinori Yagi. He's a businessman who works in Tokyo. Wait, I'll show you his picture. Izuku took out his phone, opened Facebook and went to his father's account and showed them his pictures, Scalmite. Oh man, I thought we were on to something, Ashido remarked in disappointment. I know, right, Kaminari agreed. Of course Deku is not All Might's son, the heck were you all thinking, Bakugo called out, but the class simply ignored him. Yagi, why does your father look so frail and sickly? Iida asked with a hint of concern. Oh, that he was in a car accident a couple of years ago, Izuku informed with disinterest. He must be a great man to raise you like this. I must meet him someday, Iida said with his right arm on his left chest. Oh, trust me, you'll meet him very soon. Although something I must clarify, my dad or mom had no part in making me who I am now. The class was confused. Then, who? Momo asked with curiosity. It was my mentor. Izuku's face lifted up. Adelbert Schmidt said proudly. Why, the class screamed, even Bakugo. But Todoroki just looked surprised. You can't be serious. Iida questioned. I am. Wait, I'll show you some photos. Izuku proceeded to show many photos of him and Schmidt. Nuawai. The class said in unison, leaving out Todoroki as he was interested but didn't want to show it in Bakugo. He looked like was about to murder a rabbit. Yes way. He gave me more motivation and inspiration in the 2 weeks that I knew him than my parents could in 10 years. He was a great teacher that anyone would be lucky to have. Iku, how the hell did you know him, you useless piece of trash? Bakugo was stomping over to Izuku's seat when that useless piece of trash beat you in every activity from yesterday's test. Now get back to your seats, all of you, and take out your books, Aizawa said as he walked into the classroom. Aizawa had learned why Izuku left his parents from the principal and felt sorry for what the boy went through for 10 years. He didn't answer the question, thought a certain dual hair-colored student. The rest of the morning periods went as usual. Then they had lunch and it was finally time. Hero basic training. Everyone was sitting in their places talking to each other when the door opened. I am here. Everyone gasped, their faces lifted up, leaving out 3 students. One because of his father, the other because he knew about it, and last one because of indifference. Humming through the door like a hero. I can't believe he's our hero basics teacher. This year is going to be awesome. Hey look, isn't that his Silver Age costume? I'm getting goosebumps, it's so retro. Welcome to the most important class at UA High. Think of it as Heroing 101. Here you learn the basics of being a pro and what it means to fight in the name of good. Let's get into it. Today's lesson is. All Might presented a card with battle written on it. Height training, Bakugo said with a sinister glee. But first, one of the key things of being a hero is. All Might enthusiastically pointed to the wall, from which shelves with numbered cases came out. Looking good. These were designed for you based on your quirk registration forms and the request you sent in before your school started. The class was in an immediate uproar. Whoa. Yeah. Finally. Get yourself suited up and meet me at training ground beta. Yes sir. Most of the class said in unison. Then All Might left the class and everyone took their costumes and headed for the changing rooms, excluding Izuku. Yagi, where's your costume? Kirishima asked. It's on the way, I'll wait for it in front of the gate. Okay man, don't be late. I won't, Izuku replied, walking towards the exit. Training ground beta. All Might was standing outside of the entrance and was waiting for the students to come out. A few moments later, they started exiting the dark tunnel-like entrance. Then after entering they started to compliment or talk about their hero costumes. Is everyone here? No sir, Yagi is still in the changing room, Iida informed All Might. Why is he taking so long? He was waiting for his costume to arrive. Apparently it was made elsewhere, Kirishima said. Then they heard footsteps coming from the entrance but were unable to see who it was. I think it's Yagi, Momo commented. The footsteps were nearing the entrance when it stopped. The students were a little confused until they saw an A light up with two orbs in either side. Then Izuku walked out, revealing himself to everyone. All the students and even All Might could only be awed at how majestic Izuku looked in his hero costume, with its white and gold color scheme and the cape flowing due to the breeze. What intrigued them even more was the glowing A and what it meant. The students were looking back and forth between Izuku and All Might, all the while thinking one thing. They look so similar. While All Might felt he was looking at a younger version of himself. They also felt the air shift with his every movement as he had activated 6x 20% SS. Think of the Godful Superman costume, but with a gold and white color format and an A instead of S which glows when he activates his quirk. That's a costume and a half. Kaminari exclaimed. That costume's so manly, Kirishima half shouted. It looks so cool, as Shido said. As Izuku was being complimented by his classmates, he noticed Momo and her outfit and immediately turned into a tomato. If the accident didn't happen then they wouldn't have this affected. Why is she wearing that? I thought I could talk to her casually, but now I think I won't be able. Great, we made eye contact and she blushing. Wait, I'm blushing too. Yagi, why are you red all of a sudden? Oh, it's nothing. Should I need to talk to her to end the awkwardness, maybe about her quirk or something? He walked towards Yaoi Rozu, who was talking to Jiru and Uraraka to distract herself. Why Yaoi Rozu? She turned her head to face Izuku. Why yes. I never got to ask you what your quirk is, he said. Oh, it's called creation. I can make anything from my body as long as it's inorganic and I know its molecular structure. That is an amazing quirk. It's extremely versatile. You can save thousands of people using your quirk. Really? Yeah, for instance you can make bandages and ointments for injured people. Or make things like grenades when you have to fight. You must study a lot if you have to remember the molecular structure of the things. Yes, I do a lot. I have been ever since I was 7, Momo said, her blush almost gone. Since you were 7, that's amazing, Izuku complimented. Yeah, it's also the reason why my hero outfit is skimpy when I make things, they come out of my body and tend to rip my clothes off. I think you look very pretty in it, Izuku unconsciously said. So much for making it less awkward. I mean not that you look bad when you wear normal clothing, in fact you look even prettier when wearing your usual dresses. What I mean to say is you're very beautiful and would look good in anything you wear. Momo was looking down, her bangs covering her eyes. No, I don't mean that. No wait, I absolutely meant whatever I said, I didn't want to say it out loud, please forget that I opened my mouth. Thank you, Momo said as she lifted her face up and looked directly into Izuku's eyes and gave him a million-watt smile. That smile made Izuku's heart skip a beat. Why, you're welcome. The hell was that? Why did my heart do that? Alright everyone, come here, All Might called out. Now that you are ready, it's time for combat training. Sir, the student in white armor lifted his hand. Iida's armor looks so cool, it's very similar to his brother's, Izuku thought. This is the fake city from the entrance exam, does it mean that we'll be conducting urban battles again? Iida asked. Not quite, I'm going to move you 2 steps ahead. Most of the villain fights you see on the news take place outside, however statistically speaking, run-ins with most dastardly evildoers take place in the indoors. Think about it, backroom deals, home invasions, secret underground lairs. Truly intelligent criminals stay hidden in the shadows. But this training exercise, you'll be split into teams of good guys and bad guys and fight 2-on-2 indoor battles. Isn't this a little bit advanced? Sayu asked. The best training is what you get on the battlefield, but remember you can't just punch a robot this time, you're dealing with actual people now. Sir, will you be the one decide who wins? Momo inquired. How much will we be able to hurt the other team? Do we need to worry about the losers getting any punishment? Will you be splitting us up based on chance or comparative skill? Isn't this cape dazzling? Hey, I wasn't finished talking. Listen up, the situation is this. The villains have hidden a nuclear missile somewhere in their hideout. The heroes must try to foil their plans. To do that, the good guys will either have to catch the villains or retrieve the D-Day device. Likewise, the bad guys succeed if they protect the payload or capture the heroes. Sounds like a classic action movie setup, everyone thought. Time is limited and we will choose teams by drawing lots. Isn't there a better way? Iida questioned. Think about it, Izuku stopped Iida. Pros sometimes have to team up with heroes from other agencies, so this Lodo method of choosing teams is not bad after all. Yes, I see life as a random series of events. Excuse my rudeness, Iida did a 90-degree bow. No sweat, let's draw. The students proceeded to form into 10 teams. Team A. Izuku and Momo. Team B. Mizo and Shoto. Team C. Uraraka and Mineta. Team D. Bakugo and Tenya. Team E. Mina and Yuga. Team F. Koji and Rikido. Team G. Kaminari and Jiru. Team H. Tokoyami and Sayu. Team I. Ajiro and Toru. Team J. Panta and Ajiro. Wow, the chances of being on the same team, Izuku thought to himself. I declare the first two teams to fight B. All Might pulled out two balls from the boxes. These guys. Team A versus Team D. Izuku versus Katsuki, All Might thought. Team A will be the heroes, Team D will be the villains. Everybody else can head to the monitoring room to watch. Yes sir, the rest of the students said in unison. As Izuku was going to Momo, he felt a glare on his back. He didn't even have to turn to know whose it was. Save your glaring for when I defeat you, he said nonchalantly. Bad guys, you could go on in a setup. In 5 minutes, the good guys will be let loose and the battle will start. Young Ida, young Bakugo, the key to being successful in this challenge is to embody villainy. Think from the perspective of an evildoer. If things go too far, I'll step in. All this time Deku's been hiding his quirk from me, and to think he got the nerves to say that he can beat me, I'll show him. He's just a pebble that I can kick out of the way and nothing more. Bakugo glared at Izuku before entering the building. So Yagi, do you have any plans, considering it's your childhood friend we're talking about? I do actually, Izuku said while looking at the building. I know for a fact that Bakugo will stay in the lower floors to come after me. Ever since he was in kindergarten, he would always use brute force. This habit stayed with him till junior high, so I have no doubt that he still uses the same tactics. Izuku then pointed at an entryway at the top of the building. Since we know that Bakugo will not form any sword battle plan with his teammate and come down looking for me, leaving Iida vulnerable. So what we could do is enter the building from the top, take out Iida and get the bomb. But what if he does form a plan and decides to stick with his teammate, Momo asked. Then you go for Iida, defeat him and capture the bomb, which will be most likely kept on the 3rd floor. I'll keep Bakugo occupied till you do that. Your 5 minutes are over, villains, be ready. Heroes, your time starts now. How do we get up there? The building is 5-story Kaya. Izuku without warning put Momo over his shoulder. Other times he would be a stuttering mess and use 30x2% SS on his legs to launch himself and Momo on the roof of the building. See, that wasn't so ha. Smack. Oh, why did you do that? Izuku said, rubbing his head. You could have at least warned me, she said in a dark tone. Izuku was about to say something about time is of the essence but was quickly silenced by a death glare from Momo and decided that he wanted to live. In the monitoring room. As you can see here that the heroes have formed a plan. Planning and implementation of the plans are crucial for success. Wow, they decided to go the rooftop way to try and surprise the bad guys. Yeah, that's to be expected from two of the best students of the class. Villain hideout, 3rd floor. Now how do we find them? I have this special ability called Prida. He was cut off by Momo, signaling him to keep quiet when she heard a voice and followed it to the room with the bomb. And decided to listen to check if Bakugo was present in the room. Bakugo definitely has a villainous side, that's exactly what we need to succeed in this mission. I need to temporarily devote myself to criminal intent. I won't fail this trail and risk bringing shame to the Iida family name. That means I must now embrace evil and become a hero. Behold, I am the personification of villainy, hahaha. Izuku was about to completely lose it and was about to laugh and give his position away but was stopped by Momo's hand, blocking both of their mouth. A few seconds later they were back in control. When Izuku realized he made one small mistake. Some strategist I am, he thought. So how do we get in without him being able to warn his teammate? I didn't think of that when I was planning. Bakugo must have noticed that something is wrong and probably coming back. Izuku whispered. Don't worry, I've got this. Momo's hand started to glow. Are those what I think they are? Yup. Iida was talking to himself about being evil when he saw that the door had opened a little. Before he could say anything, two small objects rolled towards him from the partially opened door, after which. Bang. Iida was both blinded and deafened, and before he knew it, he was pushed down onto the ground and tied with the capture tape. Okay, let's touch the bomb and get this over with. Izuku was about to grab the bomb, but was stopped by Momo. How about we go for perfect mission completion? Go on, I'm listening. In the monitoring room. Wow, they managed to win under 5 minutes. That's crazy, but why aren't they getting the bomb? All Might was also confused but quickly realized what they were planning. They're going for both of the objectives. In the lair. Bakugo was hurrying up to the 3rd floor as soon as he suspected that Izuku was going through the top. Then he heard the sound of the flashbang which confirmed his suspicion. Bakugo opened the door to see Izuku standing arm's length away from the bomb. That was the moment when he felt loss after all those wins. You fucking piece of trash, all those days you hid your quirk and laughed behind my back, you fucking liar. You talk too much, Yaoi Rozu, do it. Bakugo didn't get any time to react when he felt something pierce his back and milliseconds after that, he was on the floor. Izuku promptly tied him with the capture tape. Then Momo walked out from behind some boxes holding a stun gun. That was quite a good plan with the stun gun, Izuku said. Thanks, now to get the bomb. Izuku and Momo won, that too with perfect results. The remaining battles then took place, but none of them were that interesting. Leaving out Todoroki's one. Throughout the period, All Might tried to talk to Izuku, but Izuku responded with grunts and in some cases downright ignored him. Time skip, end of last period. Nearly all the students decided to go home immediately as they were tired from the day's trails. Leaving out Izuku and Momo as they decided to stay behind to help Cementus with some exercise copies. They were returning back from the staff room when they saw Bakugo with his school bag going towards the washroom. "Aoi Rozu, you can head back home, I have something to take care of." "Okay," she agreed. Bakugo, Izuku called and he turned around. "What do you want, nerd? Do you want to rub it in that I lost?" "I don't want to rub anything in, unlike you. No, I came here to tell you to search for forced quirk activation. Search for what it means, then accuse me of lying or hiding my quirk." Izuku turned around. "And don't forget that from today, we are rivals, not friends." Izuku went back to the classroom and was surprised to find Momo still inside. Then Izuku took his backpack and both of them started walking. "Thanks for waiting for me." "No problem," Momo smiled and Izuku's heart skipped a beat. There it is again, he thought. "So, will you directly go home?" Momo asked. "No, I have to go to the Night's Watch building, located 3 buildings away from the office where Izuku worked. The one near the mall." "Yup. I'm also going there, my parents just opened a new hotel and today's the inauguration party. Usually my parents would send an escorted limousine, but I asked them not to because I want to go on foot." "Oh, then I can walk you there." "Thanks. If you don't mind me asking, why are you going to the Night's Watch office building?" "No, I don't mind. I wanted to thank them for the costume. They worked really hard on it before Schmidt died, he told his workers to help me in any way they can. So I asked them to make a good costume." "Speaking of which, what's it made up of by the way? It didn't look like it was made up of cloth." "No, it's actually made up of Kevlar, but each strand of the Kevlar had been dipped in an alloy consisting of pure titanium, tungsten and osmium." "But, shouldn't that be impossible, considering the Kevlar fibers would instantly burn if dipped in molten metal?" "I thought so too, but someone from their R&D department had a quirk that could turn metals to their liquid form without increasing its temperature." "Huh, interesting." Outside the hotel. "Thank you for keeping me company, Yagi." "No problem, CA." With that they went their separate ways. But both of them were feeling lonely. What's this feeling, Izuku thought.